start streaming there. Okay. And actually, I'm going to go to. Okay. So this is. Oh, current privacy status is unlisted. So I'm going to go ahead and set this. Okay. We are about to go actually public.
Okay. Send me a link to that.
I did. It's in Telegram.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. I'm going to go live to my.
You're not. You're just going to make a post. That's not the same thing. You're stealing valor.
I am stealing the valor. Let me just make sure I am not lying. This is PC Magazine, best products from 1992. Okay.
I'm going to click save. And now, to the best of my knowledge, we are proper live. I believe we are proper live.
Beautiful. Okay.
Let me see. I need to go ping, 'cause I've never done this before.
It's totally fine. I haven't either. I have spent a little bit of time on Twitch, but I haven't really done anything like this in a while, so.
Are you subbed to me on YouTube?
I think I am.
Do you have YouTube on your phone? I guess you just got a new phone, right?
I literally just got a new phone today, so I'm not sure if I do. Give me 1 second, and I'll tell you.
Okay.
I don't think I do, but I can get it.
Well, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't have it, but I can get it very easily.
Okay.
I got a cute case for it. That's not part of the stream, but I like it.
That's fair. Here, let me go to the dual webcam. There, you can hold that up again. Oh, you know what? Look at that. My Discord transform is all messed up there. Let me fix that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because I had to delete and recreate the Discord ingest object, and consequently, the geometry for the second copy of it got all messed up.
I see. Okay, well, I'll get YouTube on my phone. I can try to moderate.
I mean, it's all good. You can do it. What I was asking about is I was just gonna find out if it sent out notifications, because that's the thing is I don't know. I don't think I need to make like a community post or anything. I think it'll just send out notifications so people know, hey, Cathode Ray Dude is streaming. But like I said, I've never done this before on YouTube. I've only done it on Twitch, so I don't super know how this system works. So I do know that I need to replace. I do need to update the chat item. I don't know if anybody's joining yet. We are still figuring this system out.
We have 9 watching, so I think that we are.
That's fair. I guess somebody's joining. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it.
We do have a notification for a live stream, so.
Okay.
I think people
all right,
are
cool.
joining. Also, somebody who I know from Twitter is just joined us.
Yep.
I think.
Yep. And Peak says that the notification came through as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I guess that did work. So let me just post it, and then, yeah, we'll just give this a little bit and let people join up.
Okay, that sounds good. Can we freestyle chat while we sit here?
Yeah, we're just chilling for the moment. You can
right,
show
cool.
me your phone. You can show me your phone case again.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
I didn't see it.
I'm very happy with how it looks.
Okay.
I need to pull up my Discord so I can see. But I got it's a rose gold phone, and it's got the all these flowers and stuff.
That is a super cute case.
I was really excited because like I haven't had a new phone in like 3 years, and having the chance to go high fem with one is a nice opportunity.
Valid.
So I know I was really excited. Plus, it's got a really nice camera for. I mean, I do photography on the side. One of my main hobby, I guess, at this point is shooting pictures, and I have like a full camera kit. I've got a DSLR. I've got a Nikon D750 with like, I don't know, 7 or 8 lenses, and I carry it around in a backpack or whatever, and it's great. But the statement I try to live by is, the best camera is the one you have on you.
Right.
And it turned out that the camera I had on me most of the time actually did kind of suck. So
yeah,
I have one that's actually decent.
One of my favorite things about the curve of of cameras, camera phones, is just that. Um, Hi there. By the way, anybody here who might be from elsewhere that I might know you, I'm not going to know your name on here. Um,
It's
Also,
YouTube. We have no idea who anybody is.
of course, yeah, everyone's YouTube names. I had this problem on Mixer, in particular. So I've streamed on Twitch, I've streamed on Mixer, I've streamed on YouTube, and the problem is that this is 2020, and no one has registered the same name on more than one website. Everyone has an alias for everywhere they go, and so like
Yes.
Tony has a different name in the 12 different places that I know them, and I've got a different name in the 12 different places I am. And for me, that's on purpose because I keep my different social circles quite separate. So I'm happy with this, but all the same, it does mean that like, if I materialize on a new medium, no one's going to know who I am there. And it's actually been the case that I do have personal friends, people who know me, who have been like, wait, you're a Catholic? Oh, I liked that guy's videos. I didn't know that was for you. I didn't know that was you. I just thought it was a cool account you were linking. And somehow I've never gotten any of my messages saying like, hey, I put up a new video, which has been sort of a, the existential nightmare of Tony Hawk's life, right? Where it's just like, people are constantly like, wait, oh man, you look just like Tony Hawk. It's like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like, this doesn't happen to any other celebrity, right?
Mm-mm.
I think Tony Hawk is known more in a conceptual sense, because like Tiger Woods is unmistakable because everyone in the world knows who Tiger Woods looks like because it is impossible to have never seen, the iconic Tiger Woods images.
Yes.
They
Yes.
get blasted everywhere. You see clips of them in TV commercials, everywhere in the world. Tiger Woods is just I
mean,
don't know about
he was
everywhere in the world,
fa-
but at least in the US.
He was the face of Nike for years. And you look at Tony
Oh,
Hawk,
I might
and
have missed that.
Tony Hawk was never really the face of any
I
advertising
don't
campaign.
think that's
Tony
true
Hawk,
to me, yeah.
Tony Hawk sold video games.
And
They had
that's
a
my point, right?
video game version of him on the cover, but like it was very it was almost anonymized. Also, Tony
Right.
Hawk just kind of has like he has this vibe to him where like you are so focused on his footwork that you forget what he looks like.
Yeah, that's the
I
thing,
feel
right?
like that's just kind of what he's like, you
Right.
know.
I think
Playing golf is
skateboarders
like
I think skateboarders
playing
are more
golf-
about their acts than their face. Whereas
exactly.
golfers, we get these ultra tight shots from the 600 millimeter broadcast lens, right on the face as they're like,
Exactly.
really like just grimming it up as they're trying
Yeah.
to set right, like scoping out, or they're talking to their caddy, or they're walking and we're getting the camera's zooming in on their face as they're walking, right? So there's face. I would say golfers, here's a take. I think there are probably some golfers who are more recognizable to football fans than football players. Like, I don't know.
It's probably true because it's not like it's not like golfers wear helmets. I mean, there's
exactly, right?
One of the things that's funny is like so I do a podcast where I interviewed Charlie Martin, who is a race car driver from the UK, who's a hero of mine, just really cool. But the funny thing was like a lot of her PR stuff that I had seen, I can tell you, I could probably draw her helmet from memory for what, because she's got like the trans flag colors and like,
okay.
it says "Go Charlie M" on it and stuff.
Mhm.
But as far as what she looked like, I had to dig into some interviews that were like actually had video of her to be like, oh yeah, you look like this, because it's just you wouldn't know. It's a sport where you can idolize somebody and not even know what they look like, which I
Yeah.
guess in a way is kind of
dope.
extremely egalitarian and like
Egalitarian,
Very,
is that what you're looking for?
thank you. Yes.
Like
Sorry.
merit based.
Yes. It's 7 p.m. on New Year's Eve. I can't pronounce
Fair.
those words.
Yeah, I haven't had the mimosas yet, but I am sipping on this Cancheck Michelob Ultra.
I have a glass of cab, but
There
no,
we go.
I sometimes just struggle with pronunciation. You can mock
Okay,
me for
actually,
it as you wish.
Golfers should wear. Now, if golf was the game it should be, they would have to wear helmets. Okay, let's be real. Hey,
I mean-
Tony, hold up for a second. Hey, just everybody,
Okay.
because people are joining up finally. So, hey, everyone.
Oh, cool.
Just to the people who are joining, I've never streamed on YouTube before. I tried it once many years ago, but this is. I just figured since there's all these people subscribe me on there, I would go ahead and give it a shot and see if people were interested in watching me live. And I don't necessarily. Part of what's going on is I'll just illustrate here that my office is a shambles because this is where I used to shoot my videos, against this wall here, and as you can see, It's now completely covered up, and I've switched everything around so that now this is the wall I'll be shooting against because it's drywall that I put together, and it's in much better shape. And I've got some nice navy blue paint that I'm going to put on there. And it's going to be a real nice setup, but I can't shoot a video right now. And I just figured, hey, I'll go ahead and do a live stream because the stakes are so much lower. So now I'm not much of like I've done some Twitch streams, but I'm not much of a streamer. So I don't know what the etiquette is. I do want to say to everybody who's joining, if I don't say, hi to you specifically, just I really appreciate that you're here. It's fantastic. I cannot believe this many people have subscribed to me, and the numbers just keep going up, and I don't know what to do with it. So I just kind of wanted to say hi to everyone. And keeping up with chat is going to be weird. But at any rate, yes, to everyone, Queen Tribble, to everyone who has been, you and everyone who has been giving me encouragement, thank you so much. It's been wild to go from where I was to even where I am now. I know this is not big for a YouTube channel, but it's still just been way more growth than I ever really was expecting. And thank you to the other people complimenting me here. I don't know what to say. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so
I will say real fast, yes, I do like Hot Wheels.
where can you donate? Check the links on any of my recent videos. If you're talking about me, any of my recent videos, the links in the description. Anyway, so we're starting to get a decent number of people here, so I'm going to go ahead and start. So let's go ahead and so what we're going to be doing tonight, in theory, is we're going to be reading PC Magazine from 1993. I've got a copy here from Google Books, which is not the best venue for it, but it'll work. And the straight dope here is this is my very, very good friend, Tony, one of my best friends in the world. I'm so glad that she was willing to join me here for this. And
Thank you
Tony,
for having me. It's awesome. I'm excited. This is fun.
Tony is a computer programmer, unfortunately. We both regret this, but I don't hold it against her. That's not a dig on anybody out there who's a programmer, but it's just
No,
like it's such a detestable job for so many people who have it that neither one of us would like to be doing the jobs that we're doing. But anyway, the wild thing is that while I work in networking and I know I'm just going to toot my own horn here, a tremendous amount about networking and a lot of other technology stuff. Well, but I'm just saying, like, I am not, I'm not a networking expert, okay? I don't even hold any certifications. But I do know a tremendous amount about networking and other computer stuff. But Tony doesn't. I love Tony. This is not a dig on Tony, but the fact of the matter, to her own admission, doesn't really know much about computers. And that's fantastic because I can go through this stuff and she has some context for it, but every time we talk about computer stuff, it's like, oh, you don't know about blah, and so I have to explain about blah, oh, the keyboard. This is actually, if you're talking about mine, this is a ASIO that I rekeyed. I got some PBT keycaps off Amazon that were like unreasonably inexpensive. If I was the sort of person who had promoter links, I would send you a promoter link. But it's actually a very good set of keycaps. They're very solid. They're not hollowy like ABS. Anyway, but yeah, so we flipped through this magazine a little bit last night, and it took us 2 hours. We couldn't get past the first 2 pages, so we tried so hard, but it was just us. So now we're more terrified because people are watching. So the goal is we just want to sort of flip through here, and I'm going to just sort of put things in context, and then Tony's going to ask questions to sort of give me prompts to talk about how things were in 1993 to the best of my knowledge, and we're going to try our damnedest to stay on topic. So
just to clarify as well, like this is several years before I was born, so this predates. The first computer that I used was I think it was Windows 95 on like a compact system, but that was already a few years old by the time I started using it. I literally played with Excel as a kid with a clip art book. So my basis for understanding all of this stuff is probably a bit later than all of this. I never had any retro computing kind of thing. I think it's really interesting, but I just never really had a chance to get into it. And because I do it as a job, I program as a job. I come home and I have other hobbies. Like I've got trains and stuff here. I do other things with my life, and so I never end up kind of getting around to this, so I'm really curious to learn more about it. So let's go from there.
Yep. And for the record, I was born about 5 years before this magazine came out, and so and my parents were huge early adopters, so I was like steeped in this sort of era growing up. So anyway, so right from the top, let's just jump into it, right? So.
Yeah.
The very first moment that we looked at this magazine yesterday, the very first thing that came to mind to me was right at the top. The fastest video yet, 37 graphics adapters. Which first is a Clerk's joke, but I'm not going to go into that one. This is a clean stream. But also, if you think about it, if you go to Best Buy, for instance, and I don't know the answer to what I'm about to posit here yet, right? But if you go to Best Buy right now, to the website, let's say, because please don't go to a Best Buy in person right now. And when you do go to a Best Buy in person, you'll find they've got like 3 graphics cards total. But if you go to their website, they've got maybe let's say they have 37. Okay, that might not be an unreasonable number. But if you go there, all those cards, it's like GTX 1060, GTX 2070, GTX 2080, and then whatever AMD is doing. I can't even begin to keep track of what their card numbering is. But the point is, EVGA, Gigabyte, if they're still in the game, I'm dating myself, I think.
Yes, they are. No,
they are?
they're
Okay.
still in it. Yep.
Thank God. ECS, do they still make motherboards? Are they still in it?
I'm not
anyway,
sure.
But it's 4 or 5 or 6 different OEMs, people who actually make the board, make the put the chips on it and put it in a box and sell it to you, but they don't make the graphics chips. And of them, in reality, under the hood, my understanding, this is at least always the way it was. I haven't looked into how things are right now, but I think this is the case. Under the hood, you'll find that what's really going on is there's only about 6 graphics chips total across all of those. So like in the NVIDIA bucket, there might be 14 different models, but in reality, that's like 3 chips. And the models are made up of different clock speeds, memory configurations, and option settings. I think that's how it is. So like NVIDIA...
To use the example that I would understand, that it's kind of like the way that Tesla sells cars. They don't really actually make a bunch of different battery sizes or speeds. They literally just will unlock possibilities for you based upon the option kit you get. So, and it saves them money because, like, if you buy a chip that's if you want to offer 15 different chips and you only have to make 3, but you can sell, certain ones at a premium because they've been unlocked at a level that nobody could, feasibly unlock themselves. You basically, as long as you have a low enough base cost on them, you really can save on like tooling costs and stuff like that. And that's it's kind of the way the automotive industry is going.
Exactly.
As well.
Isn't that sort of how they always were, right? That they would make one platform and then 20 cars based on it.
This is true. Yeah.
So basically, we're in a world of
the most recent one, but yeah,
we're in a world of K cars now.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, I'm gonna go get a Plymouth Sundance at the Best Buy and put it in my computer and play games on it. Eric,
oh, what a future we could have had.
Eric, that's dope. The Coco is one of my favorite 8-bitter machines. I used to really hate the whole category of 8-bit machines, the TRS-80, the Apple II, whatnot, and I've really come around on all of them. But the Coco did not get the best software availability compared to the Apple II, but the stuff that is available for it's quite a bit better than you'd expect. So I really like the Coco, and I'm interested in doing a video about it at some point. Anyway, hey, we didn't just mention K cars. All right, I had a very specific dunk. I said Sundance. That was the Plymouth Sundance was a K car, right? I think they put the 6 in it.
I'm pretty sure it was, but also don't dunk on Leah's greatest work. Come on. That's off top. That's off limits.
I can dunk on Lee Iacocca for other reasons.
Yes, but that one actually didn't work out in his favor. But it's okay. So we've discussed the context of how modern graphics cards work, which is that there are 5, maybe, or
right.
6.
So these 37 here. What's interesting is that at this time those might have been a lot of different graphics chips. By 93, we didn't have stuff like we weren't yet into the ATI Mach 128 sort of era where we were starting to get the first sort of widely used chips on many different cards. That was still going on, but just not at the level that it is now. So I'm interested in that. Also, Joe, Tony is one of my best friends, and she is just here to be a foil for me to bounce words off of. So, anyway, couple other things real quick because we got to get moving. First looks, Visio makes precision drawing easier than ever. I believe at this point in 93 that Visio didn't belong to Microsoft yet, so I'm interested to find out what their opinions of it were as a standalone product. If you don't know, Visio was not made by Microsoft. They bought it, much as they do with many of their products. They don't actually make them themselves. They buy up another company's product that no one's heard of yet, usually, rebrand it. Tons of Microsoft products were purchased from someone else. I can't remember all of them.
So they were the front runners of the whole Silicon Valley
Absolutely.
modus operandi.
Absolutely.
In
Absolutely. It was all
93.
born. Yep. It was all
Okay.
born here, man. So anyway, then I'm interested to see their opinions on that. And then in the upper right here, no excuses, 9 packages to put your personal finances in order. Jokes aside, package. But Tony made the comment last night. Sorry for pulling back the curtain a little bit, but we were talking about this before we just actually did the stream because we had to find out, can we do this? Will this work? Can we be entertaining doing this? But Tony made a very good point. Package? Who the hell says package? What is package? It's not program. It's not application. It's package. And yes, that term was around for a very long time. I don't exactly know. I think what it has to do with is that nowadays, and well, nowadays everything's a freaking web page, but in 2002, when you bought a program, you bought a program. You bought one executable usually that then had a lot of sub windows that did different tasks. But in 1985, you didn't so much do that. You sometimes, I would almost say frequently, could purchase a product that consisted of several binaries or pieces of source code that you could run, or pieces of code you could integrate into your own programs. And so, if you got a charting package in like 1986, I think it was like even money that it might actually just be some source code that you would
Which
use.
is insane. That is absolutely insane
It's
because
wild.
of the way that software is distributed nowadays. And like the thing that I said last night and that I still keep thinking about is, as a developer, one of the things that it's always kind of a frustration point when you get into a project halfway through, let's say, and you're not actually at the ground floor designing it, laying it all out. Somebody says halfway through your development process, and I know they shouldn't do this, but they do. We need to add this huge feature, and we need to integrate it in some way into the rest of our software that is a single piece. It is your solution.exe. You click it, and it'll open everything up. And the idea of being able to be like, hey, we're selling 9 solutions.exe, and we just thought of something we'd like to add, and that can be 10th solution.exe. And just being able to say, we have a finance app, here is a checkbook balancer we decided to throw in. Just bundle it with the rest of them, double click that one and run it, and you can chain them together and you can modify them and stuff. It's just that's amazing to me, and as a developer, I kind of am sad that I missed that era because it sounds like it would have been fun for myself to write code in.
What might be fun at some point actually would be, I would love to take you through writing code in 85 because it was hell on earth. It was awful.
You will. And so this is definitely pulling back the curtain a lot. And I think I may have mentioned this to you at some point or not, but I actually am using Fortran right now for my job.
Oh, rough, right.
And yeah, it's definitely, I think the thing that I struggle with the most with it, and I don't want to get too far off topic, but it's just that I learned in C-based languages, and like going back to Fortran is like, holy shit, this is very different than what I am used to.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole program structure and flow and the way you read it is very different. That said, the idea of being like, I'm going to write individual applets that will all coordinate together it's interesting. It's such a different way of thinking about software than we do today. So I'm curious to see what those are.
Yeah,
but we should keep going into the magazine now.
This is pretty good stuff though.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and start scooting. So the first thing,
there's just one thing that I want to call out really fast.
Yep, go.
Because it made me laugh, and it was there was a comment that's crap. It made me laugh. I think it was something about compiling a Town and Country. Now I can't find it.
I didn't see that. I did see overclocking a Reliant K. That was good. There was something about along those lines. I like the fact that people are making K-car jokes. That means we are on the right path. My presence here is absolutely doing what I was hoping. So let's keep going. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
didn't mean to distract.
No, it's fine. It's fine. This is what everybody came here for. All right. So on the second page here, now this really threw us both for a loop yesterday. So this is an NEC ad, and one thing you should know is that in 1993, NEC was a much bigger player in the United States than they are now, I think. I can't really name an NEC product off the top of my head that currently exists, but throughout the 80s and 90s, NEC was angling very hard to become a major player in the United States computer and electronics market. Joe, I have no idea. That would be nice if we're taking, not by the end of 2020, but 2021. Yes, I would love to hit a number like that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, but so NEC at this point, they were selling laptops. They were selling, oh boy, printers. I want to say, no, not cash registers. That was NCR. But anyway, they were big at this time. But this ad, I just want you to understand that this is all they had. This is the whole ad. There's nothing more to it. I flipped forward a few pages. There's nothing more. And so all we have here is just like, I could be looking at it 12 hours a day. So I want a big, bright, sharp image and a flat, square screen and total control over color settings. I am Jack's liver. And I have no idea what this is advertising other than the existence and the concept of NEC, so that's pretty wild.
And the thing is, I think that it's important that the thing that I remember discussing last night, and I think that the thing that is important to remember is there are certain companies that, so PC Magazine, you're reading this in 93, you're probably, maybe you purchase tech for a company, and they need, if you're shooting for somebody who's requisitioning software or hardware for a corporation, you don't necessarily need to know the nitty-gritty of how things run. You just need to have their name in your head as a professional solution. So like I used to read, and this is an incredible character arc from where I am now, because I am not the same woman I was then. But I used to read The Economist. And The Economist is targeted mostly at very right-wing, wealthy people, and wealthy people that buy things. Oracle would run ads in them, and the Oracle ads that I saw were similar to this kind of thing, where it was like they would maybe talk about their servers in the abstract, but it was not like a value proposition. You were not going to say, hey, you should buy this because it has feature X, Y, and Z. It's, we're Oracle. Buy our stuff.
Yeah, baby.
That's all you need to know. You're important. You're reading this magazine. You can purchase things.
And the best part
Oracle.
about that actually happens on the next page, and you pointed it out as well, because we go to the next ad, and look at this. This is just a car ad from 1983. This literally looks like a Honda Accord ad, right?
Yeah.
The huge, tightly kerned serif font, with the huge pull quote, right? This is how you structure a car ad in 1993. If I opened up a Car and Driver from 83, it would look just like this on every page, except instead of product boxes and a spreadsheet graph, we would have like an engine and somebody putting stuff into the trunk of their car. No, it is not the same font, but I did. It's close. That was the joke, if you will. So yes, I did go and find a font that looked close enough to it. I wish I knew what font they used. Anyway, but yeah, so there was a big split in advertising, right? I'm sure you're very aware of this, Tony. I love that I'm pointing off. I got to point up there. There's Tony. There's Tony. I need to have a little piece of paper hanging up here. It says Tony, so I could point at her. Anyway, but I'm sure you're aware of this, right? Because they used to sell cars, in particular, on features, and now Corolla exists.
They sell you a vibe. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, there is, and I think this is kind of the progression of technology in general, is in 1993, Microsoft still had to sell themselves in the merits. They were not the de facto default for all of computing.
I made this quip the other day. I thought it was really funny. I'm trying to remember exactly what the context was, but basically, I'm trying to think. Like it was some magazine that said that you could purchase such and such thing from Apple Computer in Cupertino, and this was like well after the Macintosh, right? And I just like in magazines at this time, right? It was not abnormal to list a product and then, well, there's no internet. right? So how do you go about buying the product? And if it's a small enough product, then you have to call the company and order it. You call it up, and you talk to, Betsy at the front counter, and she's, well, let me send you over the ordering, and somebody over there takes your order and puts it in a box and ships it. Maybe it's the same person that does it all. It's Betsy. She puts down one phone, picks up another one, puts a sock over her mouth, Oh, this is wrong.
I'm the Betsy of the graphic stream. Hello, may I help with your stream comments?
You'd look in a magazine, you'd find a review of, there's this interesting gadget. It's Popular Mechanics, right? There's this interesting gadget you can buy that'll help you do your woodworking projects. And you just call up, Tom's Woodworking Tools in Tennessee, whatever. Here's the number. Here's the address, right? You're going to send them a letter. And this is in like 83, right? Well, I just love the vibe of like, it's this little outfit in Cupertino. I don't know if you've heard of them. Apple Computer. You could send them a letter, and then they might sell you a MacBook. Send away to Apple in Cupertino. Here's their physical address. It's one infinite loop. I know why.
Dearest Steve, I would like to buy one of your finest computers.
Whatever you got over
Please
there,
reply
actually,
post-haste.
a real good one. I can come pick it up, or you can send it post-paid if you want. So I could never get over that. Anyway, so I just love this. Still has the sort of in-between vibe of buying an Accord.
Yes. The one thing I will say too is somebody said, "Rip Pontiac, rest in peace, Pontiac. We miss you."
Valid.
We can continue.
I mean, where's the Aztec 2? We were all waiting for the Aztec 2, and it never came. That's why Rip Pontiac. But
there are so many good cars. I don't want to get into that though, because I will destroy your stream. If you get me talking about Pontiac, that's it.
Yeah. Also,
everybody.
Real quick before we move on from this ad, I just want to point out that this literally does have what I said. Visit your nearest reseller or give us a call, 800-426-9400.
Yes. No. That Department HY8. There you go. Call and get a wizard.
Hang on a second. Let's call that real quick. 800-426-9400. Let's see if that number still works. Let's see. Output. I have to adjust my output device here. Speakers. Steinberg. There we go. Okay, let me place this call.
Thanks for calling Microsoft. To help us to improve the quality of our products, services, and training, this call may be recorded or monitored.
If it rings, I gotta hang up.
Information collected on this call may be transferred to other countries.
Oh, I guess Tony can't hear it.
Yeah, I can't.
For home users, press 1.
I'll explain in a
For
minute.
business users, press 2.
If somebody picks up, can we buy Microsoft Excel, please? I don't have it on my PC. I use Google Sheets because I am a broke bitch.
Augusto, thank you so much. I'm glad to hear it. Happy New Year to you and to everybody else here. It's wild to me. It's wild to me that that number still works, but at the same time, I don't know what I expected. You folks need to understand this. I know a little bit about the phone system at Microsoft because I used to know somebody who worked in networking there. The phone system at Microsoft is literally inconceivably large. They own an entire exchange. And you know how on the internet you can own like an IPv4 address block of a /8 if you are old money. If you were a megacorp, if you were an international megacorp in or a school in like 1992, you could just pay $40 to Aaron and get an IP block that's, I'm going to say millions, but that's the wrong number. I think it's hundreds of millions of IP addresses. And now you have that still, right?
Wow.
Microsoft owns like entire area codes, I think. Like they have, now that's not true, but they own literally hundreds of thousands of phone numbers. Why would they get rid of a toll-free? Why?
Yeah.
In addition, I work for a telephone company. That's all I'm going to say about it. I used to do more telephone stuff. Now I do other stuff. We're an MSP. I'm not going to talk about it. I do not like my job. But we used to know this guy. We used to have this customer who did sales, like marketing stuff, where they would put it was like you put a number up on a billboard that's like, call this hotline. Well, where do hotlines go? You ever wonder about that? Where do hotlines go? When you call them, who picks up? Is it Betsy? No, it's got there's no way, because they're putting this on a billboard. It can't be their in-house staff. They hire a service. Well, this was the service. And so every single time that a company started a new campaign, they'd get a new number. And these were toll-free numbers. And toll-free numbers are valid throughout the entire country. So this is like taking numbers out of the main IPv4 address pool, okay? It's also, I need to be clear here, illegal. What they were doing was illegal, but it was not on us to report it. Like, it's a long story, but it was not, from a regulatory standpoint, it was not our business to report it. But what they were doing was called toll-free hoarding. It is illegal because it is a limited resource. And this company had thousands of toll-frees just sitting, because every time a company would retire one, every time a company would move on to a new campaign, they'd buy a new one, retire the old one, just sit on it. They wouldn't release it. I don't know why. It was wild. It was wild. I couldn't believe how irresponsible it was.
The smog of toll-free numbers. Just sitting on a big pile of golden 800s.
Incredible. By the way, I'm sorry, Tony, you couldn't hear. So I just called up that Microsoft number, and all it was your call might be monitored. Thank you for calling Microsoft. We appreciate your business. Your call might be monitored. Press 1 for business, 2 for home. And I was like, well, maybe this is how you activated Windows XP. I don't know. Anyway.
Possible. It's too bad because I really wanted Microsoft Excel, but I don't know how to buy it.
Tony, I have Excel on floppy disks. I have just Excel,
Beautiful.
and I will
that's
mail it to
perfect.
you. I will mail you an
Perfect.
Excel.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank
What
you.
else is
Just
in
send
this
me an
dang
Excel.
magazine?
Yeah. Okay. So this is as far as we've seen.
Yeah,
so
we have. This is all new to us. Things have already gotten buck wild.
I just want to throw out there, we looked at this last night to see, like, as Gravis said, can we do this? Are we capable? And we stopped at the PC ad or the Excel ad because we both got completely hung up on the idea that you would buy a 1983 Honda Accord and a 1992 copy of Microsoft Excel the same way. So
also,
now
that, and we were totally 3 sheets to the wind.
I was.
I don't know about you. I was 3 sheets to the wind.
I was 2 sheets to the wind. You were 3 sheets.
I think Excel came on 1 or 2 floppies originally. Okay, let's get into it. Sorry, real quick. I love these old magazines because they're like full of hardcore opinions. So just like in the middle, I hated this product. Just hanging by itself. There it is. All right, let's go. All right.
They write about software like I write about cars. Just absolutely cut directly to the chase.
Honestly, you would have loved to work in journalism at this point. Anyway, so let's start with check it out. Tablet computing. Add a pen to your desktop PC. This is interesting. This is new to me. So something you might not know, Tony, is that pen computing goes back eons.
I actually do know this. This is one of the few things I've read about.
This is one of the few things you know.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so funny to me because, like, I feel like we have been trying to make people use a stylus since the advent of computing as a concept. And everybody's like, nah, I like this thing I hold with my hand, and, like, I don't want to touch a pen.
Well,
that
I mean,
feels like
I don't.
Writing.
I'm not a big fan of styli. So
what are we looking at here?
When the dang webcam refocuses, this is a Fujitsu stylistic. This is a Fujitsu Stylistic 1000, and this is a 486. So this is a very old computer. I don't know what year this is from, but I would peg it at.
You weren't supposed to flex on me like this in the middle of your stream.
I've just flexed very hard on you. Have you seen my room? Have you looked? What do you think I do here? Thank you. I do flex, which is ironic because I really need to work out. It's bad. Anyway, so the point is, this is a tablet computer from, I think, 95, 90, maybe earlier. And there's the stylus. And this one is actually, this is a powered stylus. So if I unscrew this is very cursed because Wacom not even has done this for a very long time. There's actually a quad A battery in there. And I hate this so much because the way it contacts I don't know if the webcam's not going to focus, and I don't want to put in the effort to make it focus, but basically there's the end of the PCB hanging out, and there's just trace material on the end, and they coiled a piece of copper over it, and they're like, okay, that's good. And it isn't good.
Ship it.
It's good. It's fine. But anyway,
I feel like you're not only cutting to the core of how long tablet computing has been around as a concept, but also why it doesn't catch on every single damn time.
Well, I mean, at least they did get to passive style.
They did, but just like
it's always been awkward and weird. I will be honest.
Like I do art occasionally on the side, and I usually do traditional art because I enjoy the process of having paper and pen, and it's very analog. It's a nice way to decompress from a screen-based world. But I have tried digital because it's so much easier to actually get going in it and, fix things and all that stuff.
But
make print posters, whatever. Until the iPad with the Apple Pen stylus, I had not actually tried anything I really liked. And I have tried a lot.
Yeah, it's
And
like things have come a long way in a very short time, but it's still you have to pay a lot of money to get anything good.
I
So,
don't have one
like if you go
as a
to
result.
if you go to like In-N-Out in California, this little outfit in California you might not have heard of called In-N-Out Burger. Um, they use tablets very much like this. Of course, I think they're like Panasonic Toughbooks or NECs or something like that, but they've been using them for quite some time. And that is, I think, sort of what you would have done with this when it was new, was that sort of like, mobile ordering system, inventory checking, that sort of thing. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's actually a complete machine. It's got, on the end here, we've got serial parallel VGA out. It has a docking interface on the back here. And then it
Oh
actually
wow.
has over here PCMCIA slots, 3 of them in fact. And in my video on the P2 camera, this is where the hard drive that I showed off, the PCMCIA hard drive,
Yeah.
the spinning disk, it came out of this guy originally. That's why it's the Fujitsu disk, is because it's actually the hard drive for this machine. And this machine works.
Okay.
The power supply is in storage right now. So yeah, pen computing goes way back, but I do need to point out that the pen on that device there is I think it's capacitive or something like that. Whereas if we go back to the ad here, this one is a light pen. Now, light pens, oh, pardon me. Oh, there's that Michelob
You're
Ultra,
excused.
good stuff. The light pen goes way back. And in fact, touchscreen interfaces predate it. The earliest,
Wow.
and I don't have the number to share. Hang on a second. I can do this quickly. Green.
I believe
No,
in you.
I can't remember
You
it.
can do it.
No, I can't remember it. I
No.
can't remember it.
I don't believe in you. It was a nice try though.
You know what? I'll ask in chat. I'll ask in my chat room here. With the basically, so Hewlett Packard, back when they made standalone computers for calculators, that is to say, and other sort of 16-bit computers pre-PC. Anyway, they made a lot of interesting computers. And one of the things they sold was a touchscreen-based machine. And the way it worked is that you've got and hopefully I'll have a picture of it in a moment here I can show you, but it was like the HP 4512 or something. They're all just 4-digit numbers, so I can never remember them. But anyway, you have a CRT monitor, and then you've got the bezel for the monitor, right? And you know how on a CRT the screen is sunk like an inch or so into the bezel because of the curve?
Yep.
Well, drilled into the bezel are holes spaced all the way around it, and they have IR emitters and sensors. And so when you put your finger on the screen, it blocks them, and it can figure out where your finger is. Yeah. So
Wow.
it's good stuff, right?
That's so dumb. I love it. It's a fantastic idea. It is the missile knows where it is by calculating where
Where
it
it's
isn't.
not. Yeah.
Yeah. I can tell where your finger is by seeing where the light isn't.
Yeah,
That's
right?
That's honestly great. Yeah, no,
It's
I love it.
very good. It's
Go
very
ahead.
good.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't
So
mean to-
light pens are a whole different story, and this is a fun thing. One of my favorite things about me is that I don't know how they work. I have no idea. I've always wondered, and I've never taken the time to find out, or I did, and I was like, huh, and it kind of fell out of my head. So I don't actually know how this works, but it makes me wonder because, okay, check it out. It says, take today's desktop PC. So this is an add-on piece of equipment. Add an updated piece of proven technology. That's valid. Today you can draw, point, click, drag, and position. Tomorrow you'll use ink for freehand document annotations, gesture editing, gestures, and handwriting recognition. Now, this post dates the Newton. I'm gonna say that's straight off the dome, but I'm pretty sure.
I need a lesson real quick. What's the Newton?
Oh boy.
I'm sorry. Just
no, it's
quick,
valid. No.
A quick refresher on what that is.
I'm just real quick going to show you a picture. This was the first iPad. Apple made it back in the 90s.
I remember this. Okay, I read a thing about Steve Jobs years and years ago, back when I used to idolize people who had a bunch of money because I thought that they were special for having money. And I remember reading about the Newton. So, okay, I am familiar with this.
Robert, I think that is true. What bothers me is on a typical CRT, spaces where there's black, there's no electron beam. There's nothing, there's no light to pick up. Well, the electron beam is technically illuminating it, but so minimally. But the other thing that bothers me is that, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm getting my head confused. So I don't know exactly what they're detecting. Maybe they're able to detect even a very low intensity CRT because a beam because they're so close to the screen. I'm not really sure what it is. I've always wondered about it. But anyway, the software I think is what's interesting about this. You'll use ink for freehand document annotation gesture editing. So I wonder what that was, right? There's no review of it here. This is just letting you know it exists. Also, ooh,
It was $400.
that scans. By the way, that's $1993. So magnify
Yeah.
it. So it's like $600 or $800.
Oh, that's like $800. Like
It's
based
a
on,
lot of
but
money.
so the way that I calculate money in my head is not actually through like knowing what inflation is. It's by watching old Motor Week videos and being like, hey, this car line is stayed at roughly the same price, accounting for inflation. What did it cost back then? So like, I think a '93 Supra was about 30 grand, and they're about 52 now, and that's stayed about the same, maybe 35 grand. So yeah, that's probably like $650, $700.
Yeah,
That's a back of the envelope Toyota Super math. So who knows?
it's all good. I'm going to call you G7. It's all good. I get that because I know I learned about it from the Nintendo light gun, right? Many years ago, I learned how that technique worked. I just don't get how they would work with black spots. But what everybody else is saying here is that they don't, and that makes a whole lot of sense. If you're using Windows and Windows is largely bright, Tony does not have a YouTube channel really, as far as I know, but you do Twitch still.
I still do Twitch sometimes. I'm Aerodeck Tony, and I have a Twitter page.
You should drop your if you want to share. You should drop your link in chat. Anyway, but no, Robert, this one works with an ordinary CRT, so I don't exactly, I have to assume that the light pen operates by basically knowing exactly where the raster is, and as the beam comes by, as soon as it lights up, it goes, okay, I know I'm exactly this position. That's got to be what it is. I'm going to have to do research on it. But a real quick thing I want to point out is that what's really remarkable about this is there's sort of a very forgotten, for a lot of people, very forgotten artifact here. Read the bottom text in impact font. Supporting both Microsoft Windows for Pen. Microsoft Windows for Pen. This is pre-Windows 95. There was a pen computing version of Windows prior to Windows 95. And then it calls out PenWrite. Excuse me? Okay, so the first thing here, Microsoft Windows for Pen, is obviously an OS. What's PenWrite?
It's
very
like Surface
curious.
0.1, I assume.
So real quick, let's just look up. So Microsoft Windows now, yep, there we go. The full title was Microsoft Windows for Pen Computing. And this is a real punch in the jaw.
Oh,
right?
wow.
Like, this is a real...
That feels fever dreamy.
Right?
That's
How can this
honestly,
be real?
That's good. I like that. That is one filter away from being, and like a little bit of, maybe some fold filtering, a little bit of wrinkling away from being like a very solid
Vaporwave is what you're looking for here.
I was gonna say future funk, but yes.
Oh, okay. So I think that's replaced Vaporwave.
Yeah, Future Funk is better Vaporwave. Future Funk is Vaporwave without the fascist aesthetic stuff mixed in. It's just anime. So instead of all the like stupid statues or whatever, we just have anime. It's great. I recommend it highly.
It looks like okay. So
Pen Computing Magazine.
Oh my God,
Please,
it does say that, doesn't it? Whoa!
What?
Yes, we've discovered a new periodical. This is like we just leveled. I love highly specific periodicals. This kills me. Yes. By the way, we gotta go ahead and zoom in order to emulate that 800 by 600 display. We're getting that super sampled 800 by 600 display now.
This feels like finding an ancient tome that explains like the lore of a game.
This is the Rosetta Stone of pen computing from 1993.
And then there it says PenWrite for Windows 95.
Yeah.
And now it all makes sense now.
And now we can, we go back to all those tablets we couldn't read before and press A, and they're just like a guy complaining about the quality of the copper that he received.
Exactly.
Anyway, so this is okay. Sorry, let's get it together because there's a lot going on here. So
I know,
First
I'm
off,
so sorry.
no,
This
it's
is
okay. No,
incredible.
we're both doing this. It's all good. So the first thing I want to point out is just that this came from Grid, even earlier in 1991, and I wonder if it was for Windows 3.0, um, or if this was their own. Oh, it's DOS based. Okay. Ooh, whoa, whoa! This website's not doing so well at this low resolution. Low. It's like 600 by 1200. Anyway,
This was written 23rd of October 1991. Okay.
yeah. So this goes back. So Grid Systems. Now, if you don't know, let's just real quick, let's get up to speed. Grid was making very early laptops, and they had a laptop on early space shuttle missions. Here is a
Really?
picture of it. Yes, this is the Grid Compass,
Oh my
and you
God,
can tell
that's
from the worm
incredible.
font. You can tell from the worm font what era this is.
Yes, you can. That's amazing.
Yeah, so this guy, the grid compass is sort of a nerd kind of totem. It's got the eye-searing yellow display. I have a friend I'm not going to name because he'd prefer to remain anonymous, who owns 20 or 30 of these.
Wow.
Not
Okay.
because they were common, but because he's been rescuing them for eons.
Gotcha.
Anyway, yes, thank you, Rabid Monkey. The Grid used bubble memory, which was a short-lived, non-volatile RAM format that failed for a lot of reasons. But for a minute, every single business in the industry, in the electronics industry, thought that bubble memory was going to make it
Really?
all happen. Yes, bubble memory was huge, got used in like 1,000 things for 6 months and then disappeared because it had tons of downsides. And I'm afraid I can't quite remember how it worked. I want to say it was magnetostrictive. Let's just the summary on Wikipedia is good enough. Let's just read it together. Okay, yes, it's tape.
Okay,
It's not, but it uses. So this is a bubble memory module. It goes way back. I undersold it. It got used for longer than I said. But basically, here we go. So you have a thin film of a magnetic material which stores information in small magnetized areas known as bubbles or domains, each storing one bit of data. This is no
Okay.
different from normal tape, but the bubbles can be moved. So you can apply a magnetic field and it shifts all the magnetic domains.
Oh.
You ring the bell and everybody gets up and rotates and sits down again.
I would have used this if I was designing hardware back then, just because it sounds cool.
Very,
I don't know.
yes.
I mean, clearly it didn't work since I've never heard of it, and it's 2020, and I've never seen a computer that
It
uses
largely
but
failed.
it sounds cool as hell, and I would love to just make things with it.
In '84, yeah, I keep forgetting about this. In '84, Konami made an arcade system called the Bubble System that did use it with Gradius. That's Gradius. Yeah, like I said, I probably undersold how popular bubble memory actually was.
Okay.
It was.
So it
was
was
very well
used for a bit. It was used in the laptop that went up to the space shuttle in like probably based in the worm font, late 80s, early 90s. So then they also made this.
Yeah.
This
So they also.
pad with the pen. It's a light stylus.
So
then?
as you can see, that's probably very similar to the stylistic in a lot of ways. Like it's about the
Okay.
same size, same screen size. I would guess that it probably was about the same deal. The one thing I will say is I'm very curious, but I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole. We got to get back to the magazine. But hey there, thank you. Happy New Year's to you too. I'm just going to point out that in the lower right, I swear to God, I think that's a smart card slot. And that could be a whole. That could be a whole rabbit hole I could go down figuring out what that was about.
It sounds like the next thing you're looking for on eBay is a grid pad.
That's
So,
a point. Maybe I.
pen
You know what?
computing.
Yeah, maybe I should do a whole video on early pen computing. That would slap.
I would love that, honestly. I
think-
mean, so I know
Anybody
a
here
very-
who wouldn't like that, sound off. I'll watch the chat. I'll wait.
This is a good way to figure out what to do next, because I mean, from my perspective, I know that it was used, but I just learned a ton. I had no idea about any of this kind of thing, and I would be curious to see more. And if you could figure out how I know that a few people in chat seemed like they had some ideas about it, and I'm sure that they probably do, and you could really build on that. If you could go into like how the light pens worked and stuff like that, that'd be super cool.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
I would watch that video, and I mean, I think you would make me stuff I like to see so far because I don't know it. So,
Compgeek,
But we should get back to the
that would be
magazine,
super
seriously.
dope. I'll get back to you if I actually do that. Okay, so real quick, just it looks like Grid, because they were making their own pen-based systems, produced their own pen-based software, but didn't keep it proprietary. They would sell it to anyone. So it looks like what's interesting here is a pen computer software environment with a forms paradigm. Forms meaning basically, this is not just an API for pen interaction. This is something for actually crafting your own applications, which was a thing. This is an important thing. Throughout the 80s and early 90s, there was a very common thread through commercial computer software of making programming language environments that came with their own application. Sorry, I'm getting off the beaten track here. Let me say this right. DBase, okay? Imagine if MySQL or PostgreSQL had a built-in GUI that you could build a whole program in, and that was what the user logged into, directly into the database. There's no application connecting to the database. The database is the program, literally.
Was there like a reason for this, or were
Yeah,
they just like, this is
absolutely.
cool?
It was
Like,
the reason was the proof is in the pudding. DBase demolished the industry.
okay, that's fair.
DBase became the most popular software for database programming for like non-mega, like super like Oracle was around, and there were other database packages that were oh no, why is it shutting down? Why is it?
I don't know. It just
my this is a Windows 10 VM that I'm running, and I'm going to cop to something here. It is not licensed, and I kind of suspect. Take it easy, Eric. I'm going to start it back up here in a second. I guess
Just
it is
switch-
possible. Yeah, maybe it just did some updates. That's actually not impossible.
just switches to the big talk format.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do that, and then let me go to studio mode here, and let me get the.
I mean, I
thing
put on
back
a
up.
nice top for the stream.
I understand.
I
I
should
don't
get
mean to
to see
diminish the
it.
value of your effort. Yeah, can I get some Fs in chat for my Windows 10 VM? Anyway, but I totally. Oh, right. So DBase was tremendously popular in the context of basically small, medium business and personal database stuff. I just saw Sable goes, oh, I think my stream is running slow because of all the Fs showing up. Like, oh no, what happened? You'll see, it's all good. Anyway, it is. Yeah, I called Microsoft. They've been tracing my call this whole time, and Bill Gates just. No, I'm sorry. Bill Gates stepped down. He got replaced by Steve Ballmer, but he stepped down too, I think. And I don't know who's running Microsoft now. So somebody hit me with that info. I don't remember. I'm gonna forget it, but I'd love to at least read it for a moment.
I almost said Tim Cook, but I know that's wrong.
I don't think that's it. Anyway, we're booting back up. User, welcome.
Okay.
But yeah, everybody, just the level of jank here. I wanted a Windows 10 VM, but I did not want to put in any effort. And I happened to be on Microsoft's website. I was on Microsoft's website. The website, let me give you the URL for this little outfit from Redmond called Microsoft.
I
Hey,
need
Tails.
to reshare.
Thanks for joining. Appreciate it.
I need to reshare mine too.
Oh, thank you. I would have forgotten. Anyway, so I was on MSDN or something like that, and I discovered that if you go there and go to, oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it's like the Microsoft Edge development package or something like that, is a Windows 10 VM that you can download that's ready to go. So you just download it and drop it into, you drop the OVA into a VirtualBox, and Bob's your uncle. So that's what I did, and so you'll see it says Windows 10 Enterprise license is expired. But the weird thing about this is, and this is one of my favorite facts that nobody but me seems to have noticed, Windows activation only existed for one version of Windows. It wasn't in 2000, and it wasn't in Vista. XP is the only version of Windows that will not run if you don't activate it with Microsoft. Every other one does not require a CD key and never shuts down. It just puts a little shame banner in the lower right corner, and in most versions of Windows, not the Enterprise Edition apparently, it makes your desktop background black. That's it. There is no other impact. So you have not needed to pay for Windows, realistically, for over 10 years. They only did that activation nonsense once. And that is like, I feel like
This one weird trick made Bill Gates hate him. Click here to find out.
valid. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this sort of they live kind of. I put on the glasses and I'm like, whoa. Nobody else can tell that Windows doesn't activate anymore. It's just me. I'm the one guy. So it's very weird to me that nobody else. No one's talking about this. The Western media will not report on this.
Hey, we already went through this page. We don't say anything about it.
I'm still opening. I'm not saying anything.
Don't even think.
By the way,
about this
we're not to the
page.
table of contents yet.
Oh Lord. Okay,
Anyway,
just skip the table of contents.
Just real quick, just to sum up what I was saying. Yeah, that's right. Grid apparently made their own package for pen computing to support their own computers. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to get one of these systems. PXL 780. Just real quick before we move on. This is the one other thing I'm gonna do. PXL 780.
Oh, those shoes are nice.
Oh my God.
$500. Good Lord.
Oh my God. There's one on eBay. What else we got? Where's the
Welcome to Graphis spends money on
stream. Yeah, I'm gonna live stream spending money. FT256 D256 pen. This isn't even my account. I'm not logged in. And that looks
I know what you're doing
that's a
as soon
bomb.
as we're done streaming, though.
Yeah, well, it's in the
I
post.
don't blame you.
All right.
Okay. Just scroll out of the. Zoom out a little bit, real quick.
Okay.
There's one note I wanted to make here.
Mm-hmm.
I read that second page as attention, all your DBase are belong to us.
Yeah,
Because
several
I
people actually
scanned
said
it
that.
super quickly.
Yep.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
I
a couple
scanned it
people said that.
super quickly, and I was like, I thought that reference came later. Anyway, I don't know what that is. It looks. It's like.
Well,
we got
so let's talk
Windows.
about this real quick. So, okay.
Is it interesting?
Yeah. So this is. This is the editor's. This is the editor's intro.
No, he just.
That's just blabbing. Okay. Also.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. We need to talk about this though. This is important. I hope we'll get to it, but this is the Intel Satisfaction modem. That is
spicy.
Important. That hits different. All right.
I miss like it feels like every tech device made in the past 15 years has been a BMW model name. It would be so nice if they went back to like Kia naming, and it's like our cars are named things.
This is the Intel Sorrento.
Yeah, like I love the ThinkPad, not because it's like a great laptop, but because it's got a name. It's not like
Yeah, but there are so many ThinkPads is the problem, because Dell has Inspiron and Latitude and whatnot, right? So you asked me, gun to my head, what's the difference between an R50 and a P71? I guess I'm not going to live through the night because I'm out of luck.
P71 was an airplane, wasn't it?
No, that was the P. No, I don't remember. But anyway,
that was a P51.
P51. They also made several in that series. So there's actually there's like a P57, I think. I just discovered that the other day, which was super weird to see because the anyway, let's talk about Sable. That's hilarious. Yes. No one is ashamed of the Windows isn't activated watermark. Also, that's what I was gonna say. I think off the top of my head, the ThinkPad R50 and P71 are made 15 years apart. So the situation's dire. Okay, but let's talk about what's in front of us because this is interesting. So I told you about DBase. DBase had its own application development environment. So you'd make your database and then type in some other commands. You'd make like a stored procedure that would generate a form. Let's just real quick, let's look at a DBase 3 app so we have a context for this. This is easy to find. So this is the DBase authoring interface. And then let me see. Catch me looking like I don't know what I'm talking about here because let's do DBase 3 application. Let me just see if I can get you a picture of like what. Here we go. So this is a DBase 3 app. This is Ken's address book. And your development process for this is almost as simple as I think you designed this form in like a text mode GUI type editor where you just drug stuff into place, or maybe you typed it. I don't quite remember.
Okay.
And then you just sort of you wrote a few commands that told it what fields tied to what database fields, and you're done. And it would do the rest for you. And you could write code, or it would give you some. Now, this eventually developed into a visual version called Fox Pro, which Microsoft acquired. and made part of Visual Studio, I think. But it's also where the
Shocking.
it's also where the roots of Microsoft Access are, because Access does just that, but it does it all GUI. Well, what's interesting about DBase, the very first version of it was called DBase 2, because, and it was put out by Ashton Tate Software, Ashton Tate. And the reason for that is that was just the name of the two guys that made it, and they called the first one DBase 2 because they figured nobody wanted to buy the first version of anything. It was
honestly brilliant marketing.
Yeah, they're geniuses. It was a brilliant move. DBase 2 was incredibly successful. DBase 3 was even more successful. And there was also DBase 4, and then things started.
Well, yeah, because nobody wanted to buy the second version of the software.
Right,
either.
right. And anyway, but so this was what DBase did. Well, DBase was so popular for rapid application development. It was basically Visual Basic before Visual Basic in a lot of ways.
Okay.
What's interesting about it is that this here, check it out. Introducing new CADB Fast, the first and only DBase compatible. People started making their own flavors, and this started really early. So there was Clipper, for instance. I forgot all the other ones, but there were a whole bunch of DBase knockoffs that were 100% compatible or close to it, but added their own stuff. So what we have here is DBase, but it supports a graphical interface, as you can see here. So this is...
Your applications will really come to life with multiple colors and fonts. That's actually kind of cool. Like, as much as I was going to dunk on this for looking kind of goofy...
Well, you got to understand that in this era, Windows 3 software is extremely well known, and I would almost say reviled, for having ridiculous garish color schemes. Because yes, software developers had just discovered, ding dang, this is a color monitor, let's go nuts. And so a lot of Windows 16-bit software was just hideous. It just looked like a float parade.
They don't teach you how to style like this at college.
So anyway, this was a huge selling point, because one thing you should understand that I think informs this is that PCs got color before the Mac did. And sort of had been high on that for quite some time, but they had limited color and no GUI until long after the Mac did. And colorful text mode apps just hit different than colorful GUI apps. So in 1993, although Windows 3 had come out several years earlier, Windows 3.1, which I think came out in 92, was really where stuff started to pop off. And so essentially, to put it simply, reductively, this is not true, but it's close enough to true, Windows PC users had just gotten color, and they were losing their minds. They were just like...
Yeah.
And so everyone just went nuts with putting color everywhere, and it was hideous, and it lasted about 15 years, and then stopped like a rock. Glad. One of the things
I really like about this ad too is, so to your point of Macintosh got all this stuff, all of the color stuff earlier, the final line of this ad is, "After all, haven't you waited long enough?" And that really drives home that point that, like, people in 93 were like, finally I can make my Windows applications garish. And they were really excited. Clearly, look at the demo images. Even, like, you would think that they would have somebody who could design that for a demo image, and they clearly couldn't. So
yeah, all right.
If the person who made this ad is watching, I'm sorry. I apologize.
I always worry about that, because one of my favorite experiences I've had on YouTube so far is that I made my thank you, my keyboard, I assume. Yes, these are some PBT keys I got for $30 off of Amazon. I should get a referrer link. That completely derailed me. Oh shoot. What was the last thing you said, Tony?
The colors.
The
colors. Oh, haven't you waited long enough?
Yeah, but there's something else. It doesn't matter. Let's move on. Next page of the magazine.
Next page. Hey, we're making progress.
Yeah. Whoever called me out. Someone had money on this. Someone was putting stakes on it. I got back to the magazine. All right. So
let's just skip the table of contents.
We'll skip the table of contents, but let's look at
that. Looks like V.2 Reggie.
What, Phil's a me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's a Nintendo joke. Well, he's apparently the CEO of Borland, who, if you don't know, Borland was the biggest name in PC software development for about 15 years.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. Software craftsmanship. I love it. How droll. Sorry, I just had to call that out. That's hilarious.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Robert. I remember what he was going to what I was going to say, what he was going to say. I remember what Robert was going to say. I read his mind. I made my video that got super big that Tech Connections shared. Thank you so much, Tech Connections. About the Beam Index CRTs. And a guy showed up in my mentions and was like, yeah, you got everything right, man. Source, I hold a patent on this technology. And I looked him up, and he did. He gave me the patent number, and I looked it up, and sure enough, like there was his name on a patent from Tektronix from like 1987 for this technology.
That's ultimate vindication right there.
Oh, man. High Test and Rupin RX, I might be interested in those things. I'm going to drop my email address in chat, and I would like you to both email me about that, because I don't have a P.O. box set up yet, but I need to get one so people can send me stuff like that. But as soon as I do, I would be interested in both those things, because those would be useful. Okay, so anyway, let's...
Wait, real quick, before you go on, there's one thing on the table of contents that I have lost my mind at.
Hit it.
Columnist John C. Dvorak.
Oh, you didn't know?
No, I didn't know. I
You
thought
know
it was
who
just
he is
some
now.
random. Well, of course I know who he is.
Yeah.
But I thought that it was just some random guy who was like, keyboards, they should be weirder. Instead of a columnist for PC Magazine.
A columnist for InfoWorld in 1984, too.
Oh my God. Okay, well.
Sorry.
I'm learning.
I just want to... Wait, it was either InfoWorld or... here we go. Yeah, so this is from 84. I had been reading John C. Dvorak's column, IBM Keeps on Rolling. This guy has been in it to win it since it was a thing. He gets around.
I mean, you know what? Get paid, good for him. He got a keyboard named after him. Nobody's going to have a keyboard called the Tony. That he's living on further than I will.
That could change.
That would be a terrible layout.
Dress for the job you want. Dress up as a keyboard. All right. We're on the second page of table of contents. I'm just getting my... we're on another ad. This is an ad for an Epson color scanner. Sorry, the Epson color scanner, a tool that easily could have been named the Epson Add a Picture and Some Interest to Your Documents machine. That's nothing. That's nothing. The joke you made there, that's nothing. We're going to move on.
That's terrible. Yeah, no.
All right.
Screw that.
Compare. No comparison. Also, nothing. That's nothing. However, we do have a couple of Dell laptops here for $2,100.
I own cars that cost less than that.
Wait, why does it say Austin down here? I think maybe that's a stamp, I think, from maybe the library that owned this magazine.
Okay.
More and more for less and less.
I literally own a car right now that runs that costs less than that.
Hey, Tube Time. How's it going? Good to see you here.
$3,000 in 1992?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm not even going to comment other than that was a reasonable price at the time. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Wait, no, Austin's the company. 5 more reasons to buy Austin. Austin Computer Systems. So this was a distributor. Well, these computers are Austin branded, but I guess they also sold...
Dell's?
Oh, no. I misunderstood. No, they're comparing. That's a Dell. This is an Austin laptop.
Wonderful job, Austin advertisers, for making it completely clear whose product we're looking at.
Sable, absolutely. Please, anyone, I need to make that big, huge sign. Please email me with anything you want. Oh man, things aren't looking oh, there it is, Austin laptops, 4 of them. Wait, hang on, let's go back. Can somebody in post get a zoom in on this? Parts only, brand Dell. So like, what are the chances? All right,
well, one of them is a Dell.
Oh, wait, so it is. Oh, it's an Austin, a Dell, a TI Travelmate, and or maybe it's 2 of the... Oh, gosh.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow, this is taking so much longer. There we go. 2 of them. This is incredible. There's 2 of them. I might need to place. Oh no, look at the screens. Look at the screens.
Just buff them a little bit. It'll be fine.
Yeah, they might be fine. But I'm actually super curious about these. I wonder if these are 40. Whoa. Ooh, I got to look into this because, okay, so there's your PS2, your parallel, your serial, your video, and your sound. Sound in old laptops is very rare. In the 486 era in particular, there was nobody was doing it. Is that a coprocessor slot? Is it a math coprocessor slot? Could you put a 47 in here? Man, that's wild. These look dope. That TI looks dope. That Dell looks dope. Oh, these are sick. These are sick, nasty. I want all of them. I might buy this. This one's got a modem. You know me. You know me. We got a
I believe they call you the modem guy.
They don't, but they could. I got a double brand. I got to get a separate channel. Anyway, they both have modems. This one's got a little tiny dinky parallel port. What's going on there? Never seen that before. You gotta get the T. Well, it's just like their calculators. You got to get the special cable. Anyway, wait.
Wow.
Why
Texas
is battery
Instruments
pack?
fans are just going to be absolutely livid at you right now.
Yeah, actually, this TI sucks. I need to point out. Okay. One thing that's good about it is it does have a standard 2.1 millimeter coaxial power jack on it. One thing that's bad about it is that someone has taken the screws out of this. That's very concerning. Although there is one screw there. Maybe that's for the. Oh, you know what? That might be for like semi-permanent attachment of a dock. I've seen that before. Rarely, but I have seen it. Anyway, also that expansion, that docking port is Anyway, and whoa, it had an external 10 key that you could plug in separately.
Oh,
That's long
whoa.
gone. Good luck. All right. Wow, I love these. How much are these? $50 shipping from. Oh, it's in Houston. So, well, that's right. I'm never going to road trip down there. The opposite might happen, but anyway, I might make an offer on this because this looks like such a good deal. I'm going to pop over to my real computer. Oh, I can't paste this. Oh, no. It's very important I not lose these, so please bear with me while I go over here and save this listing in my watch list because I do not wish to lose it.
Can I? May I talk about my own projects real fast while you're doing this?
Go
Okay.
for it.
So I have a website that I work on, and I write about cars and stuff, and it's called trustthemachine.com. If anybody's curious, but I have a 1986 Honda CRX currently in Seattle, right around I think the General Gravis vicinity in the Pacific Northwest, and I need to go up there to get this car. I haven't done that yet because of the absolute shit show.
I just can't wait. What? No, tell us. Explain. What problem? I don't know what could be going on in the world. But
in late 2019, a novel form of the coronavirus developed.
One of my favorite tweets at the moment is the one, I don't remember who posted it, but it just says, I would say one of the most defining features of 2020 was the novel coronavirus. I just think about it every day when I wake up screaming.
It's true. But no, I have a CRX up there, so I have to go get that. So I could, bring up 4 laptops for you in my Honda Prelude and then drop them at your place.
I guess that would be
in
free
the general vicinity.
shipping. You know what? I might do it. Let's talk. If anybody wants me to buy these laptops, you can go to my coffee and throw me $100, and that will guarantee that I'm just saying I might do it. But if you send me the money, I will do it. Just say in the comment that you're earmarking for that purpose, and I promise I will buy them and I'll do a video about them. If they work, if they don't work, your money is going into a dumpster. To some extent, better yours than mine. If somebody's money has to go into a dumpster.
Can I have the money?
I'm sorry.
I'll go buy another car.
With $115.
The last one I bought was $700.
Yeah, but that's not 115. That's not.
I can do it.
Yeah,
do you not
well.
believe in me? I can do it.
Meet me up on 99 beneath the Marco Polo, etc., etc. I'll be the one with a $100 car. Okay, so we have a LaserJet 4 ad. Whatever. ISO 9001. boy, there's a lot going on here. So
Whoa.
yeah, so I guess that
Whoa.
yeah. So this is
Why
apparently there
is
was
he
a mod.
riding a dog?
Well, hang on. This is a cultural reference neither you or I get. This is Mr. Magoo, a name I recognize but cannot pin to a concept. Um, but anyway, the point is there was apparently a monitor manufacturer called Samtron, and an important thing about the 80s and 90s is that a completely unreasonable and utterly just numerically unlikely number of companies started making monitors. I'm sorry. In another chat here, a friend, another very good friend who's watching, just said an incredible thing, which is John C. Dvorak went from InfoWorld to InfoWars, and that is hitting hard. I'm liking that. Good work, man. If you're still watching, thank you so much. That whipped. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just need to apologize real quick. My webcam is in a position that I'm not used to, and I've scratched myself a couple times in ways, and then gone, "Oh my God, the webcam points down that far." I'm just gonna. I don't like that this is a potentiality, so I'm fixing it. There we go. Anyway. Also, this is good. This is good. I'm gonna ignore that ad. I read Best Utilities with great interest and found useful tools. How's that for a pull quote? It's got that zing.
My favorite is scroll down a little bit. I was actually reading through these letters while we were
Oh, I'm
covering
sorry.
Mr. Magoo.
I'm very
Scroll
sorry.
down a little bit. No, it's okay.
No, it's right.
Uh,
I'm gonna grab a
thank you.
drink. Keep talking, Tony.
Okay, just a note to
busy.
thank. Oh, I will. Just a note to thank you for publishing Typecasting, Choosing and Using Fonts, October 27th, 1992. I haven't slept for the last 3 days, reading and rereading your excellent article. What the hell was in that font story? We've already established, and I mean, this is something that's new to me, but Gravis has told me that there were like 7 fonts. So was it like Comic Sans, the style for the new decade? My mind just boggles the possibilities that would have kept this person up for 3 days reading about fonts. I love it. What else is in here? I'm kind of
I
curious.
love that I came into the end of that sentence.
It's just because I'm so good at this. I'm sorry.
Okay, the reason the last 2 letters of letters are a different color is most likely a scanning error having to do with like OCRing or something. I've seen weird things like that. Also, I'm sorry, real quick before we continue, I've got myself a rolling rock here, and 2 things. Well, anyway, I'm just gonna give everyone a nice crisp pop.
Oh yeah, please. Oh,
There we
beautiful.
go. Toast. I'll clink my monitor. I won't do that. It's a 2K. I don't want to mess it up.
I mean, mine's a 1080, so I don't care.
Exactly, right? 1080s are thick on the ground. Donk. There it goes. Anyway, yeah, so I'm sorry. This is good. Right smack in the middle. Stop me if you comment on this. Cholera cleanup. Or clear up. I would like to set the record straight with regards to your article, Fax OCR Gets Better and Faster, Trends, November 10th, 1992. For clarification, Cholera Recognition Systems is in the business of providing superior OCR software and systems, not developing fax hardware. Just all letters to the editor have the same tone. Oh, I see. And it is written by the person from the company.
Yeah, every letter to the editor, and this is funny too because like I never read PC magazines, but I have read a lot of automotive magazines because I write in them sometimes, and model railroading magazines. There's one basically left that's a big one in the U.S. Model Railroader, and they literally just read like this. It is either "Thank you so much for this thing that I loved and which you changed my life with," or "I hate you and you are so wrong that I had to write you with a pen on paper and tell you how wrong you were in your article in last month's issue." It's great, and it whether it's cars or it's model railroading or I read astronomy magazine, people in that same thing. Every subculture has people who are either so thankful that they got a tip about something, or so mad at you that you gave the wrong tip. It's
to be
amusing.
fair,
It's
Tony.
human.
To be fair, have you ever received a comment
Oh,
on
yes,
any website? Right? Like those are the 2 types. That could also be interesting if it's the right type. Again, hit my email address. Let me know if you need it again. referring to a high test there. I think I said that.
Oh, I thought somebody said something about rolling stock, but they said rolling rock. I was
Rolling
going to say I
rock,
have
yeah.
a BNSF. I think this is a 62-foot
Oh, choo choo. There's
rolling
just some
stock.
trains. That's
Rolling
very
stock
good.
to match your rolling rock.
There you go. Rolling stock extra pale. That would be the one in the middle there. See, because it's white. Anyway, so real quick, I just need to comment on one more letter to the editor here. Internet is a reality. As I read your article, email systems, can they keep their customers satisfied? I noticed one piece of vital information. Could any of them send or receive mail from the internet? Now, this reads like such a shit post. pardon me. If you don't
That's
realize
a drill
the
tweet.
context. It is. It really is. But the important thing here is that in 1993, the internet was not yet common. AOL was still sort of they were hitting hard, but it was not yet universal, and people were still doing a lot of networking between just clustered computer systems. Thank you so much, Michael. Happy New Year to you too. I'm glad you're watching, and thank you for joining. And I'm only going to try and improve. By the way, for all the people who have joined. Since my intro, which is most of you, there's like 125 people watching now, which is
Wow,
wild to
that's
me.
awesome. Wow. That
It's
is
not the
super
number I
cool.
expected. I thought it was going to be 10.
That's
But
fantastic.
part of the reason I'm live streaming right now, just to here, let's I'm just going to go back to the webcam layout here.
Yeah.
I just want to show you all that the wall that you're used to seeing me film against was this one here. You can tell from the blue stripe, and there is now a whole bunch of stuff stacked against it. And that is because this wall is made of plaster, drywall rather than cement. Come on, focus. There we go.
Yeah, it's working.
This wall is made of drywall, and as you can see, this is a lot cleaner as a backdrop. I've got some nice dark blue paint I'm going to hit that up with so it doesn't look the way it does right now where you can't hardly see anything. But my office is in a shambles right now, so I can't work on a video. And I actually really like live streaming. I used to do it on Twitch a lot, so I got the chops for it. But I just figured that since I was planning on, I don't know how I've kept up this pace with the videos. Weekly is ludicrous for the stuff I'm doing. And people commented on that, and I know if I slowed down, you won't mind, but YouTube might, so I don't know what I'm going to do, but I just figured, hey, if I don't have a produced video to do right now, hey, why don't I do a live stream, right? That's fun. Everyone seems to be having a good time. That and I like when the holidays are coming up for people who can't go and do anything for the holidays to give them something. I know, I don't substitute for family. I don't substitute for the pandemic not keeping us locked in our houses. But all the same, at least it's something, right? Something to do that's not just watching some video game stream or whatever. So I was like, yeah, it's New Year's Eve. I want to give people something that they can chill out with. So anyway, that's going to be big improvements hopefully in my videos going forward. They'll be a lot more legible. There'll be a lot less reflection off the bright white concrete behind me, and a much sharper picture, I hope. Anyway, I just wanted to thank everybody again for showing up, because this was all I could muster right now, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be interesting. But apparently, everyone seems to be digging it.
Yeah, and just for a reintro, my name is Tony. I'm just Gravis' friend. I'm just here because I don't really have a super solid understanding of retro computing, but I'm interested, and so I'm here to learn and sort of follow along. Also, I guess I really like Hot Wheels. I've been collecting them since I was like 3.
Is that your whole collection?
Oh no, I have. There's more on that wall. There's more on that wall.
But are they all tagged, or do you have a bin of?
Oh no, I have a bin.
Okay.
I have many bins.
Just ballpark it. 3 digits or 4 digits?
Oh, definitely 4.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Definitely
Lovely.
4. I think I've got a couple hundred carded because there's some that aren't hung, and then I have at least 1,100 loose because I counted them at one point.
Aperture's asking, are those Gran Turismo Hot Wheels in the corner?
Those, yes, they are.
I didn't know that was a thing. That whips. Oh, of course
those
they are.
And then actually, this also is too, which I need to hang up still. But there's a premium series. So these were the base model ones. That's all 8 of them. And then I have a couple of the premium series, which are more expensive, and I couldn't find all of. But I at least got the 787B. Sorry, that's all I'll talk about it. But yes,
Yeah,
I was very excited. I'm sorry. That's it. I'm done.
I'm glad to hear it, Fiscal. Yeah, I like to think that I'm good at audience participation, but I'm never sure until I actually do it. All right, let's get back to the magazine.
Hell
Anyway,
yeah.
what I was going to say is
We
that
can skip.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, whatever. In '93, people were still using computers not for internet connectivity, not for necessarily centralized systems like CompuServe. People were doing a lot of dialing directly into their business network that their company, their employer maintained, or they were dialing in to the smaller pre-internet. Sorry, bit of a burp there. They were dialing into smaller pre-internet centralized networks. CompuServe was one of those, but there were other ones. There were all sorts of computer networks that weren't the internet, and there were lots of ways. There were lots of ways to send email and other types of message, just like we would now, but not over the internet as we know it. By the way, I just want to say, in regards to something Cohen just said, yes, a lot of audience participation is just, I exist, acknowledge me, and I have a lot of opinions about parasocial interaction, but I just want to say something that I don't want to sound too egotistical here, but something I'm very proud of is that when I started doing YouTube videos, I was just doing it for whatever reason. And like I said, I only have about 14,000 followers. That is not huge by YouTube standards. I'm not a personality yet, maybe. I don't know. But what is interesting to me, what is really, ever since I started doing the more heavily produced videos, what I've realized is I get a really high ratio of comments. If you look at the raw numbers, it's like every 18 viewers or something posts a comment, which is ludicrous for YouTube. There are marketers who, but there are marketing people who would see that number and be like, how do we get a hold of this guy? What's this guy doing? Because if you go and look at some channels, other channels that are doing tech stuff and whatnot, their comments are largely along the lines of, great video, and that sort of thing. And nothing wrong with that. The comments field is there for a reason, but I just find it interesting how many people type out multi-paragraph responses or connect the stuff I'm saying to their life, or tell me how it has improved something for them. They understand something they didn't before, whatever. The didactic intent, that's a word that means teaching, if you didn't know. I never hear anybody use it, but anyway. The didactic intent that I had appears to be working, and I just feel really honored. Even at I'm getting, to me, less 5,000, 6,000 views on a video is popping off for me. So I'm not famous, but I think it's remarkable that compared to videos I see that have 50,000 or 150,000 views, but all the comments are just kind of hey, that's cool. Everyone seems to put in just tons of effort interacting with my stuff, and it's wild to me. So I must be doing something right. But I really appreciate it. It makes me super happy that I appear to be hitting people the right way, the way that they want to get hit.
Yeah, you have from my perspective, as the less experienced person with this, the thing that I really like is that I can kind of figure out what you're talking about, which I feel like is something that is lost. Well, it's something that's lost a lot when people do very niche, subculture type things. So I like that part of it. But I don't want to just gas you up on your stream. I should say something nasty about you. Ha ha. We're looking at a PC magazine from 1992. Neither of us are that cool. Come on. I mean, it's New Year's Eve, and we're both reading this magazine. We can't be the coolest people, although granted, there are reasons we can't go outside. But still.
Yeah, there's a few. Thank you, Adrian. That's cool. I love that there's people. Again, not to blow my own horn too unreasonably hard, but one of the things that really kind of got me ticked off for a long time is that there were whole swaths of information. YouTube is sort of the place people go for information about things. If you're looking. It's a step below Wikipedia, if you will. Wikipedia, it was supposed to give you a layperson's explanation of many things, and they kind of screwed that one up on a lot of cases. and then you've got YouTube for like the next notch down. It's like, look, I just give me the bullet, okay? Like what is the give me the 0 to 60 on this, and I'm trying to do that, and on topics that don't get addressed on there at all, and I think the last like 4 or 5 videos I've done is stuff that nobody talks about, and and I'm just it's remarkable to me that I've managed to find all these things that like are totally uncovered. So people watch my stuff and it's the first time they've ever heard of it, and I'm like, what if I run out of fresh stuff? I'm worried.
I think the thing that's also fortunate is that so the only subculture I have as a reference point is automotive. As you may have been able to tell, I like cars. But there is definitely this. So for automotive technology, there's a very well documented beginning of motoring. There is the beginning of the internal combustion engine, and it's from the Carl Benz inventing the patent motor wagon through like the Model T. Everything in that period is not everything, but there is a significant portion of that era that was extremely lost and is very, very hard to find information about unless you know one of the few people who managed to find a preserved one somewhere, or they found some original documentation from the businesses or whatever, because it was a formational time for the industry. It was before it was considered even an established market where you would even want to think about it. It was just like this thing people were doing. And so I feel like computing from 1970-ish, whatever the time frame you covered in your last history of video was, the home video recorders. What were those? What's the name of those again? I'm sorry, I'm blanking.
I'm not sure either. I know the video you're talking about. Yes, the history of home video.
The history of home video. Yes, and it was really cool. But it covered this formational period of video that nobody really had covered. So
right.
you're kind of in the sweet spot where it's 2020. You're discussing a time period that began 50 years ago. So it's definitely worthy of discussion.
Yeah.
But it still was just there was so much chaff. There was so much stuff that was discarded that like it would be lost if it's not carefully documented at this point.
That's my point, right? The Windows for pen computing in 1993, probably not very good, truth be told.
Oh,
but
I'm sure.
It shouldn't be forgotten, because you could very easily think that touchscreen computing and pen-based computing was like a 2000s thing.
Yeah, I mean, a 1996 Honda Accord would walk a Duesenberg, but it doesn't mean you should forget about the Duesenberg.
Of course. And I mean, one of my favorite subjects was, I'm going to go ahead and I'm about to mention Top Gear. Jeremy Clarkson.
For it.
But anyway, one moment.
I mean, we know it. We all know it. It's okay.
Pardon me. Well, some of them, they might not know it. They don't know me as well as you do. I think Jeremy Clarkson is a terrible man, and I'm glad that Top Gear no longer has him on there. Anyway, but I believe Top Gear had an episode where they did find the first car that's normal, and that, because you know how the Model T drives. I couldn't drive a Model T.
Yes. I've actually ridden in one. It's very cool, but you can't drive it.
You couldn't drive one. You personally could not. You get in one and you would stall it over and over and over. You literally would not be able to make it go, because it's something off the top of my head. It's like you start the car with like a button that's in a weird place. Or no, you crank them. I don't think they have electric starters. You crank the car to get it started. Don't make a mistake there. And then you've got to get in, and the gear shift is also the brake. And like so you have the first gear shift, right? So it's like brake, neutral, drive, and then you have another gear shift that's you're like high and low. But then you have to like feather this lever to control the clutch. That's also that's right. I think it's brake forward, clutch back. I think is how it works.
Something like that.
And they're not labeled, right?
No.
So. Oh, okay. Oh, right. And then right. And then controllable timing, right, which was critical. So the Top Gear guys did track down the first modern car where a normal modern person could sit in it, and it's got the normal pedal layout, the normal shifter, and everything. And it was something you'd never think of. It was the 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 Ruby Martyr. I don't know. It was some wacky, like, froofy, because, cars used to have, like, sort of froofy names, even after that was kind of out. They sort of had, like, kind of very French-sounding names, I think, for a bit. And so, it's just a super strange vehicle you wouldn't expect. But anyway, computers are like that. 1981, IBM PC. If you sat down at an original IBM PC, you'd be able to do things on it with a very small amount of effort. You would need, like, what's this command? What's this command? If you've ever logged into a Linux machine, you'd be familiar with the CLI because it works in a very similar way. So you just need to know what commands are what, and you'd be off to the races.
But there's all these other diverging paths that didn't work
Right.
out.
If you sat down at a TRS-80, you'd be completely lost. You'd have no idea where to begin. None.
Yep.
I can't remember the command to load a program from tape on TRS-80. I can't. So I couldn't even do it. So yeah, it's fascinating that there are starting points for these things, and that you can just drop the needle straight on. Here's where it all begins. And some things. Was there a CPM for TRS-80? I'm sorry, I never realized that. I knew there was a CPM for PC, but I didn't actually realize there was one for TRS-80. But yeah, you're right, actually. So CPM, by the way, was the forerunner of DOS, and you might be able to find your way around in DOS. You're not going to find your way around in CPM. Okay, so let's get back to the magazine.
I was going to say, we're at page 18. We could make 20 pages before this night is over.
This is wild. Anyway, what I was going to say...
I can't believe we did it.
Is just that, it's fascinating that email at this time was not necessarily a thing you did on the internet, it's interesting to see here that they had left out the whole angle of, does this thing work on the internet? Because in 1993, as a magazine editor who had seen many fads come and go, it would have been very easy to say, like, to just not think about it, to just not go like, oh, of course we have to cover the internet, because at that time it was just an option. It was a thing you could do, but not a thing you were definitely going to, or by far the most popular thing. All right. Oh my God. Whoa. There's a lot to unpack here. First, can we just talk about these font choices? That drop cap O is like the most powerful drop cap I've ever seen. It looks like it's from a different document. Only. Wait, sorry. Sorry, hang on. Let me see if I can pronounce this. Only an AST engineer would choose 200 megabytes over their 1200cc V twin. I think I got it.
That's close enough, honestly.
I think I got it.
I like how the whole sell here is that their engineer was riding a 1958 Harley Davidson in 1993, which is an odd choice.
Maybe he's a retro enthusiast.
Yeah,
because remember in the 90s people were like, oh, it's an Indian, and it's like a 70s motorcycle.
Yeah, because like I gotta remember too that like Back to the Future came out in 1985 and it was about 1955, and everybody's like, whoa, it's the 50s, it's so cool. And they were like, hey, remember when things were cool for only white men? And everybody was like, just fine with that, I guess. But anyway, yeah, there was a huge 50s. I mean, Ronald Reagan was president. His whole thing was propelled by 50s nostalgia,
right,
from the terrible movies he acted in.
It's constantly fascinating to me to think about how we're back on cars again. This keeps happening.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault, because I think about cars a lot too. I'm not as much of a car, nerd as you are, but I still think about cars a lot because there are so many parallels. It's always fascinating to me to think that. So, I'm a retro computing enthusiast, right? Okay, so. What's the oldest computer I have? Well, I don't have an IBM PC yet, so the oldest computer I have is probably, if I did have one, that would be about as far back as it would go, and that would be from 81, right? Okay, so 81 to 2020, that's what, 40 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm bad at arithmetic. I was hoping you would answer yes, and you did. So I'm feeling a lot better about myself right now. So that's 40 years, and you think, okay, 40 years, that's a pretty old thing. But I like thinking about how if you watch old movies from the 60s, let's say, or late 50s, somebody will have a hot rod, and it's this car that, if you think about it, you go, oh, this car was from the 30s. So in
Yes.
1960 something, it was as old as the PCs that I'm collecting. So it
Yes.
was a piece of crap. It was a bad car. It wasn't good. They hadn't figured cars out by 1940, right? And
Not at
so
all.
and so somebody has, they've got some roadster they've built, but they've built it out of what is objectively a terrible car. And
It's true, and you
and
should say it.
yeah, and they're just struggling to keep the thing running, not because cars in 1960 were like that, but because cars in 1940 were like that. And I constantly think about how, as time goes on, we sort of lose perspective of how far things are. Because, so for instance, I got a Macintosh Classic, and then I wanted to put a new hard drive in it because the one it had was having some trouble. And so I had a stack of hard drives, Mac hard drives, full height SCSI drive, no, half height SCSI drives, that had been in my shed after coming from a friend's dad's house. So they had been there for a couple decades. And I put one into the Mac and turned it on, and it started, much to my surprise. And what it had on the disk were some emails sent by my friend, who is in her 40s, to a Macintosh retro computing mailing list in 2000.
Ooh.
These were 20-year-old emails talking about this computer as an ancient piece of equipment that she was resurrecting because it was from 1986.
Oh my god.
So in 2000, that was still quite old. So
Yeah.
it's wild, like going like, hey, we're still hung up on the Macintosh. It's been almost 40 years. We're still hung up on it. It wasn't. I don't think it was low end Mac. It was something I don't think exists anymore. I think it was something like the Mac Classic Resurrection community or something like that. I don't think it exists anymore. I have the email saved somewhere. I'll have to pull them up. Okay, anyway, so, yeah, only an AST engineer would choose 200 megabytes over their 1200cc V-twin. What does that mean? Anyway, next page.
I mean, to be fair, I would choose 200 megabytes over a Harley.
Okay, this is interesting. MathCAD. This is like somebody here hit me up. What's that program people use for? It's not LabVIEW, I don't think. For complex calculations in college programs.
Oh, MATLAB.
MATLAB. There we go. So this, I think, is sort of like, I think it's more for illustrations than it is for necessarily doing simulations, but it's still.
Whoever designed this advertisement should never work in advertising again.
No, it's a joke. We made this ad the same way some people still do calculations. It's supposed to be bad.
It's not funny, and it's bad.
That's the thing. All these magazine ads like that. That's nothing. Anyway, but check this out. Comes with more than 200 commonly used functions, including exponentials, differentials, cubic splines, FFTs, and more. So you could do a decent amount of fully interactive formulas, diagrams, and data tables. So I think this is kind of an early MATLAB kind of thing. Hey Chris Hoffman. Hey, you're actually in chat. I don't think you've ever commented on one of my videos before. I assume you're the Chris Hoffman that texts me. But it's good to see you, if so. Anyway, they did a surge suppressor shootout. Look at this. Wow.
I'd actually like to see this today.
That's so many. Yeah, they actually hit them with $2,000, $4,000, and $6,000 volts.
There is actually YouTube. You just keep talking. There's
No
a YouTube
problem.
channel I'm going to look up
There's
real
a
quick.
lot of brands here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's about 30, 35 brands there. And yeah, so surge suppressor retest. Because of an error in ZD Labs testing procedures, PC Magazine published inaccurate performance test results. Oops! Ooh, that sucks real bad. Oh,
Here it is.
hey, wait. We got some gamer content, folks. We got some gamer content. A message to game writers out there. We appreciate the efforts you go through to create dazzling special effects. It is ridiculous, however, to expect us to reconfigure our entire systems just to play a game. Yeah! Oh, it's absurd! Who would ever do that? What a completely ostentatious thing to expect that someone would buy new hardware just to play a game. Yes! I love it. The last 3 games I have played require up to 600K of free RAM. Come on, guys! Most systems out here have less than 600K free. I think it's reasonable to expect any software package to be able to run at 512K. And that was by Ron Peoples, who I swear to God, Akewood made a joke about a character named Ron Peoples. Whew.
I was just going to say real quick, if it's okay if I mention another YouTube channel that is not related to anything here, Project Farm is the one that I'm thinking of. It's a guy who does really well-researched comparison testing of common products. So he does, some of the things I've watched is drill bits, windshield wipers, circular saw blades, different chainsaw blades, like that kind of thing. And this like pass-through voltage test for the surge protectors reminds me of that.
Yeah,
and it's
excellent.
so nice because if you're like me and you see 70 options for an object that has a defined function, and you're just like, please, I just want to buy one. I can't think about all this.
Right.
There's no way I can process this level of information.
Yeah.
He just gives you, buy this one. Be done with it. It's amazing. I love it. So I recommend that highly. If that kind of thing appeals to you. Anyway, that's all.
Yeah.
We can go to the next page. We got like 15 minutes. Let's go through more pages.
Yeah. One second. I had a thing I was going to respond to. The thing that Zero Virus, I just want to call this out. I did not know about this. Signs of an archaeological excavation done by the ancient Mesopotamians. That is something I'd never heard of. That's really cool. I didn't know it, but it makes a lot of sense. It's the same way that if you look at if you go back to like Victorian England, they were doing architectural styles at the time that were like Greek revival. They were themselves. There was a huge obsession in like Victorian Britain with with previous centuries. So we keep doing this cyclically, and so now we're obsessed. Well, maybe not necessarily, but we have at times more recently been obsessed with Victorian England, and so it sort of just goes in a circle.
Hi.
Oh, yes.
I'm not wearing as much of my Victorian outfit tonight, but like, yes. I wear a lot of Victorian clothes. I guess I wear more than an average person, which is none. So I have like 4 or 5 outfits, and that's enough. I can't help it. They look good on me.
God, wow. In the era of Cleopatra, the pyramids were already thousands of years old. I admit I didn't know that. I had never put those numbers together. So
yep.
That's really something remarkable to think about. Okay.
And pretty soon, thousands of years from now, they'll be dusting off a Macintosh. Like, wow, look at these retro computing emails from 2000.
It's funny because we just uncovered a food stand at Pompeii, and everyone's just like, I want to eat the old food, which is super valid. But it really is like, hey, I don't remember if the super volcanoes up here aren't close enough to Portland to bury it, but it could happen. There could be a future civilization digging out Portland food carts, and I just kind of can't get over it. It's wild. Anyway, okay, so man, page 22. We are hauling. By the way, Tony, check your IMs, please.
Oh yes.
Let's move on from this. This is another ad. This is another ad. This is an ad for FileMaker. FileMaker, for anybody who doesn't know, was sort of like a hybrid of I never used it, I should point out. I've only heard about it and read about it. But FileMaker was like a hybrid of like a Microsoft Access database, like I was talking about, and I think it was sort of like almost HyperCard flavored. But yeah, it was a Macintosh like. So, sorry, let me say this right. Entire businesses were built out of FileMaker in like 1986 or 1990 or whatever. Entire businesses like shipping departments ran out of this program. Not big ones, but it did happen. Um, and I have personally witnessed I worked at a company where the guy who owned the company. I have this tendency. Um,
Sorry, column 3, about midway down. You can create scripts to automatically perform menu operations, update files, run predefined sorts, generate reports, and a whole lot more without ever writing a single line of programming code.
this is a really big
Yes,
deal.
it's the same thing. It's the same thing forever. It's
Mhm.
that has always been consistent. They've always been saying, "Hey, here's a database solution because everyday normal businesses need databases,
Yes,
but
yes. And what's interesting is it's
you
dead.
don't need a programmer."
What's interesting is it used to work and now it's gone. Now it's
Yes.
gone. This happened for 20 years. Tony. Uh, oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay if I step out
Yeah.
real
Step out
fast.
for a second.
Actually, I'll be right back.
No problem. I used to work for a business, and the guy who owned the business. By the way, I have this tendency. I keep using the word. I'm not making this up. I keep mentally like using the word protagonist in the wrong way. And so I keep referring to the lead singers of bands instead of like frontman. I'll say the protagonist of the band. And I swear to God, this is not like a deliberate personality trait. I made a joke about it about 2 years ago, and I can't get it out of my head. And so every single time that I want to refer to the lead singer of a band, I'll be like, oh yeah, the protagonist of the band. Shoot. But anyway, I just did it with the owner of the company. I was like, yeah, so the protagonist of the company that I worked for. But anyway, he had built that company had been around since the 80s, and he had built a whole bunch of scripts in DBase to run everything. Our time cards were run out of DBase. He tracked inventory and orders out of DBase. He was keeping track of like part counts and stuff like that, and emails to customers and repair orders, doing it all out of DBase. And he hadn't written DBase applications for it. He was just using the raw editor. So it's like, imagine if you saw an entire business being run out of PHP MyAdmin. That's very much the energy of this situation. And it was working. It was working out really well for him. Like, he had it all nailed down. Everything was very efficient, and it just I couldn't complain. I couldn't make any recommendations, and I couldn't make any suggestions for how to improve it. Like, oh, let's make it graphical. Why? It was just him using it anyway, but like, and it was a structured database. He wasn't doing any silly. It wasn't like Excel where people just add a column for no reason. This guy was he was making a new column with structured data and setting like enum constraints and whatnot. So there was really nothing to complain about. It was a perfectly reasonable thing to do. Anyway, that was going on in the 80s and 90s where companies, would put together. Oh my God, we're shutting down again. I don't know why this keeps happening, but it's okay. Um, the in the 80s and 90s, there were companies where the secretary, basically, it was often somebody who was not a traditional IT or computer science person with any formal skills or training, would just solve the problem. They would just go, oh, well, we've got FileMaker, so what's the information we're storing? Well, we have orders, and orders have a customer name. We'll put that in there. That's a string. It's a text field. And then we need to have a total for the order. The amount of money they spent. Okay, we'll put in a currency field. Get it all done. Put in everything they can think of, and then just drag some forms onto a window, and they finish doing that and go, oh, it seems like we could probably, there's a gap up here, and it seems like there should be, have a good night, Happy New Year. It seems like there should be something there. Oh, I know, we should have a contact number for the customer. That should be in there. So they just add it, and then it asks them to backfill all the data, and they put in a default value, and you think about it, and you're like, well, I can't explain exactly why you can't do that with normal SQL. I can't really explain why that's not a reasonable thing to do with MySQL or PostgreSQL or whatever, why they don't have that built in. It sure seems like a failing on the part of those organizations that they can't match this level of usefulness. Because the secretary would produce this program, and that program would get used for 25 years. And so, in response to what you just said there, yes, if you're trying to support somebody who has a solution like that, the problem with it is that you are trying to pull their data into your system. So now you have to cope with all that, and it's usually because the company grew. The point is that this works great for a company that's small and has very limited needs. And the thing that sucks about living in the post 2010s world is that it used to be that there were small customers. It used to be that people would solve computer problems in a small personal way. And now nobody will do that out of fear that they won't be ready for that day when they become much bigger than they have any right to be. And so what ends up happening is, people now build stuff that is scaled. It's scaled. It's oops, this is the wrong magazine. They build stuff that is set up for the scale of a company that has 40 million customers. When they don't have that, they have 30 customers, right? But they want to be ready. They want to be ready for that day. And I don't blame them necessarily, but it is a little frustrating that what has happened is that people have turned to Excel. They've turned to the bad solution because the industry and their IT departments will not give them something better, because the IT department goes, oh, you want to keep track of customer orders? Okay, well, you may not do that. And they're like, well, okay, you can tell me all you want that you're not going to let me do this. I'm doing it already. I have a notepad open on my desktop and I paste their information in there. So I'm already doing it. And you're saying like, oh, we have to go spend $250,000 developing this program. I'm already doing it. So I'm just going to do it better. So they open Excel. And that's how the nightmare begins. And if the industry would go back to this, if they would try in any way to say, look, individual employees at this company should be self-empowered to create structured data. Because expecting a secretary, expecting an account manager, expecting a process flow designer to learn SQL and a programming language and a complete app stack and whatnot is utterly unreasonable. It is a completely unacceptable option that will never work. But if you could find some way to make the things they're good at work in your world, we could sort of go back to a utopia we used to have. Because when people's businesses were small and medium enough, when they were medium enough to work with programs like this, they were very happy and very efficient, and everything just worked. And the problem comes when you have thousands of people accessing the same database. But I don't think it needs to be that way. Okay, welcome back, Tony.
Hi.
Hey,
Sorry
this
about
is that's all right. This is funny. Norton Antivirus now provides several lines of defense: main line, online, fax line, phone line. I think that one sort of falls apart. Anyway,
That's nothing.
that's fine. All right, what do we have here? So, this is fun.
I see that I got up and the Windows VM crashed.
Oh, yes. Thank you for mentioning that, because I forgot to put it back up. There we go. And I will go ahead and share that back to you here. We're using a separate screen sharing app. By the way, everyone, the hell nightmare of getting this sort of setup. It took us an hour to get this stream configuration working, because we're just doing stuff that computers don't want to do. So, for instance, Tony's talking to me over Discord. So I have a window capture going off of Discord, because Discord will not export its video stream to me. It could, but it doesn't. And there really is no way to fix it. There's no solution to this at all. One does not exist. But I want to do a screen share so Tony can see what I'm doing in live, real time. But Discord won't let you do that. You can't do both. You can send a video stream both directions at once, but you can't send a video stream one way and a screen share the other, because everything's bad. And so consequently, I'm running a work productivity tool and doing a screen share over that. It's like TeamViewer basically, and doing a screen share over that. It's bad. Okay, so it works. The phone does not probably does not have a mismatched faceplate. That color phone often had a black or like a maroon faceplate, and I think it's getting really heavy light from above. But it might just be mismatched. Maybe they got it from, the prop room, as it were. Okay, so this is funny in the lower right. Video for Windows spawns hardware. That's an interesting... I'm very curious where this is going, by the way. I don't know what that might mean.
VFW was those buildings with tanks sitting out front in small Midwestern towns.
What's funny is I don't know what that means. So in my brain, I just went, Vallis Fort Worth. Anyway.
It's like Veterans Foundation something. I don't know.
So an interesting thing about this, actually, is Video for Windows is happening right in front of you right now. All these webcam feeds, Video for Windows is the API used to ingest video for Windows now. So anything that's a V4W device or VFW device is a valid video source for OBS, for Discord, etc. That's why when you open up Discord, you can see any webcams you have plugged in because they're all VFW devices. They plug into the API framework. Anyway, but I love the opening line. To play movies with Microsoft's new Video for Windows program. Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. It's not a program, it's an API. It was a piece of software that you installed that extended Windows. I wouldn't call that a program, but hey, I'm just a kid, right? But anyway, to make your own movies, you'll need to get a video capture board. Oh, this is about ingest. Oh my God, Microsoft Teams has NDI output? I am into that. Wow. Start webcast. Is that I'm sorry, is that your like Twitter handle or something? That's fascinating. I'm super interested in that. I have Teams, so I'm going to look into that. Anyway, NDI is the, I think, NewTek deck interface, something like that. Basically, so my OBS display that I'm using right now, that I'm using to stream this, I can tell OBS to just take the whole frame that you're looking at right now and just make it available on my network. And then any other computer, I don't know if it uses multicast or broadcast, unicast, something like that, but basically, if I just take another laptop and plug it into my network anywhere, and then open up OBS and go add NDI source, it will just show any computers on the network that are sending out an NDI stream, and I can just select it, and bam, the video image appears in perfect quality on my machine. You can use this to do things like you can run OBS on one computer, having it capture a screen there and send it to another computer, which then mats that screen seamlessly into your larger presentation. So if it's impossible to run the program that you're interested in on the same computer you're streaming from, that's a solution you can use.
Oh, you know what that solution is used for is one of the common solutions for VTubing, which is the virtual YouTuber thing, where people do like the 3D avatars of themselves talking. The application that runs the facial tracking application is run on a phone, because those have really accurate facial recognition.
Right, because they have hardware. They have hardware acceleration.
And then you stream that out to OBS and lay it over top.
And it uses NDI?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that it uses NDI in the setup that the person I'm thinking of uses.
Yeah, NewTek is so special because, for anybody who doesn't know, and the N in NDI is NewTek. NewTek made the video toaster. So if that hits, then you know what we're talking about. I'm trying, Cohen. Okay, so, so to catch up on this is a 1993 PC Magazine. So this... oh boy, I don't think that this predates PCI. I think this is post PCI. Real quick, Robert, the video toaster was originally Amiga. Yes, the one that you're familiar with, most likely, is the Amiga version. But they kept making them. And so, what's this? The T4, oh man, Guys, I'm bombing. Is it not? I swear.
Travis, I only have so many charms I can employ. I don't know how I can save the stream.
Okay, well, all right. The point is, a dumpster TriCaster? Oh, that whips. Oh, man. Anyway, but yeah, so NewTek went on and made the NT1, NT2, NT3, and NT4 PC-based video processor cards, and it was much the same thing, but just for PC. And so and they are video toasters. So what was I doing? That's what was wrong. VT. Yeah, why did I do that? I did it again. NT4. I meant VT4. VT4. There we go. So there it is. Yeah, so that's you can infer that is Video Toaster 4. So basically, and a VT. I'm sorry, they made a VT5 as well. So there it is. This is basically like a late 90s or 2000s video toaster board that you can build into a PC. And Robert, I would. So I'm sorry. I'm so stuck up about this because I feel like the video toaster gets so much press, as it were. Like, it's like, oh, the video toaster, yeah, everyone in the room claps and congratulations. But there were other things, and there's other stuff in the live video processing category doesn't ever get mentioned. I'm interested. One thing I'd like to do that I've been thinking about buying for a long time is I'd like to buy a Chiron. Not sure how it's pronounced.
I believe Chiron.
I think it is, but anyway, so
Bugatti Chiron.
This is a Chiron, one of them. Anyway, there's a whole bunch, and this is basically it's a live video processor for doing. It doesn't do all the same stuff as a video toaster, but I would love a Quantel paint box, but they're complete unobtainium.
That thing is expensive to ship and to own.
Yeah, because it's a 4U. It's a PC chassis this tall and that deep. Anyway, but yeah, so this thing is, as you can see, it's PC based. But when you're watching the news, there's a great demo video I can just show you real quick. When you're watching the news and they have the overlays with the animations, the bumpers, the singers, everything you see on the screen that is an overlay is coming from a Chiron, specifically. And here it is. This is their 2011 demo reel, and it's going to look very generic because it's just going to look like TV. But yeah, so like this is generated by a Chiron. That's it. That's what it does. This whole thing, the 3D, the overlaid live data and whatnot, all coming out of the Chiron. So that's what they do, and they've been doing it for a very long time, to the extent that in the TV industry, at least for a while, I don't know how true this is now, but at least for a while, people would simply refer to the name that pops up, for instance, over a news anchor as the Chiron. The text at the bottom third of the screen is the Chiron.
I have actually heard that term.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know it came from this, but that's interesting.
That's what it came from. So anyway, all right. So it's so this topic here is about buying video capture cards for PCs. Let's see what they get up to. Oh, this is beautiful. Microsoft's $199 video for Windows. Okay, so apparently I did not know this. Pardon me, I just burped again. But apparently, video for Windows, let's see if we can get the package, I guess was a distinct software package. Oh my lord, there it is.
Whoa!
$80. You're taking me for a ride here. Oh my god, RePC is selling it. RePC is selling it. That's our local computer store I used to work at.
Okay.
Anyway, but this is fascinating. I had no idea that Microsoft sold this as a distinct package. So there we go. So this is I guess this came with an enhanced version of Windows Media Player, which had been in like the multimedia pack for Windows 3, I think. Okay. And then they had, look at that. It's like a non-linear video editor. Look, there's a little baby. Microsoft sold Virtual Dub. That's wild. You're talking about the keyboard here. Let me just get a link. This is not going to be a referrer link. I'm not going to make money off this link. But because several people have asked about it. So let me just get you there we go. Here you go.
I'm amazed that they had something that was, I guess, that fully featured that early. because like
Yeah.
so this is gonna age me, but I remember specifically the first video I ever made on YouTube was one with Windows Movie Maker,
Mm-hmm.
and
Sure
when
thing,
they
John.
stopped bundling it, it made me sad
It was so upsetting.
because it was actually useful. Like if I was just trying to knock out a quick video that I didn't want to, if I just wanted to put a couple of simple cuts in and put a soundtrack on it and just put it on YouTube and be like, send it to my mom or whatever. It was the easiest one out there. And then there's all these other open source ones or whatever. But there was nothing that filled in that gap if you were a Windows user. Obviously, you had iMovie if you were a Macintosh user, which is iMovie's phenomenal. But I haven't had a Macintosh in half a decade, maybe longer.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. If they sold Windows Movie Maker in a box for $20, I would probably go buy the box because it would be like $20. It's a familiar interface, and boom, couple of cuts, throw it out. This is actually really interesting to see that it existed that early.
Yeah, this is wild.
So,
That's dope. By the way, I'm sorry, I finally just remembered to ask this question. I meant to ask this 2 hours ago. Is Tony's voice at the same level as mine? I tried to tune it up earlier, but I wasn't sure if I got it. Does she sound like about the same amplitude? Let me know in the comments below.
I should be louder because I'm cooler.
My
voice is also starting to get hoarse.
Yeah, actually, I'm. By the way, everybody, we're going to be out in probably about 25 minutes.
It sounds about right. Yeah, I think 20 minutes is probably good.
This stream has been wonderful. This has been fantastic. This is so much better than I expected.
It's really fun. I don't have the endurance anymore
because
I haven't done a Twitch stream in a long time, and I don't think I had started training my voice when I did Twitch last. So this is interesting.
Okay, so let's blast through the rest of this real quick.
Yeah, let's go for it.
In the next few months, we'll see a variety of capture boards that offer various features. Some will just capture the data and stream it to disk in VFW's AVI file format. That's right, AVI didn't exist before this package. This was actually originated by Windows 3.1's video system. I think they had AVI before this specific product. But I'm just saying that Microsoft invented it, and it was part of the multimedia package for Windows 3. Others will use a hardware assist to compress the files. So yeah, like an Indio codec, or Cinepack or whatever. That might be Indio. I don't remember. In a hardware format. Anyway, capture boards allow you to increase the frame rate from 15, the minimum, to 30. So I guess that was the maximum they supported at the time. And it's kind of wild to think of 30 FPS video at all at this point. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do more streams. This has been fantastic. I just have to do a little bit of I got to plumb a little bit to figure out like what people might be interested in. I was thinking about, I got some bad video games over here for the old PC that I was thinking of playing.
Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it.
They were okay. Thank you, Roadfan. So there's some other software packages here. So at $349, MediaVision's Pro Movie Spectrum is one of the least expensive capture boards available. So Pro Movie Spectrum. Let's just see. Whoa, yeah, baby. Woo! Hit me with that full length. Oh, I couldn't have said that. That was a bit much. But anyway, yeah.
Family friendly, Gravis. Come on.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I couldn't stop it. Whoa, yee. So we got a Zilog chip there. Don't know what that does. I'd have to look into all this. We got some big old power transit. Ooh, LM317, LM337, LM340. So we got a whole bunch of voltage regulators on there to drive all this stuff. And yeah, there it is. So that's quite a chunky boy right there. Yeah, I might do a poll. I think I can do a poll. So I'll probably do a poll in my community tab and ask people like what sort of stream stuff they'd be interested in, and they can look at this to get an idea what this would be like. The video game stuff, I will tell you this, that I have done video game streams in the past, just not on here, and they're not. I'm just going to say, I don't think they're very much like what a lot of other people do. It's much more like this, the sort of forgive me, thoughtful. I actually think a little bit about what I'm doing and how it fit into the cultural context and what people would have thought of it at the time and whatnot. Although I will say that some of the PC games that I have are pretty rough. And I will actually just spend the time probably dunking on them. But anyway, thank you,
I'll be
Sable.
happy
I'm
to
glad to hear
return.
that. Oh,
I'll be happy to return to dunk on video games with you. It'd be
excellent.
fun.
Excellent. Anyway, also Comp Geek, that's dope. I've never seen a parallel port video capture unit. I have an ISA composite capture card that just does one frame, not video, from like I think it's an 8-bit ISA. I think it's from the mid 80s. 1-bit composite video capture, and that is super fun. Anyway, so just real quick, let's go through the rest of this. So, so the Pro Movie Spectrum did 15 FPS video. It says, and display it in the small 160 by 120 resolution window. And so I wonder if that's real time, if you could actually like watch TV poorly through that. Yeah, I think that is what it means. Then there's the Video Spigot. Video Spigot was a name.
An attractive name.
Oh, very. Let's look that up
name.
because I'll bet you that's got a good box if we can find the box. Oh, we can't find the box. However, I could buy one, $40. Let's see if we can get a picture of the box. There it is. Yep, that's exactly it. Pour video into your PC is what it says. Perfect. That is exactly what we wanted it to be. Oh, I'm sorry, Sable. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh man, yeah, this is a lot. And there it is, and it's it's got the same sort of kind of high, like medium pin count surface mount chips on there, mixed with through-hole stuff. Oh, and a Philips SAA 7191. So that was probably a pre-made, pre-bundled video capture and encoding chip, like the Brooktree would later make a whole industry out of. And yeah, the Video Spigot was a known name in the Mac world, so they were just sort of coming over to the PC world. Then we have, I didn't know this, Creative, the Sound Blaster people. This little outfit you might have heard of, made the Video Blaster. I did not know that. I knew they made a modem blaster. I didn't know that they made a video capture card. There it is. Oh, and it came with an awful little webcam. Incredible images, awesome price. Wow. They have the like value price advertised right in the box.
That is the Walmart generic brand of video capture. That is the great value Dr.
Oh, you know what?
Salt.
I'm sorry. This is not the original Video Blaster. This is a Video Blaster branded webcam. So this is actually this is from many years later. This is from like 97, 98. So we actually got we got dunked on here.
Hey, I didn't get dunked on. I don't know anything. That's why I'm here.
That's a fair point.
You
I guess I got
on.
dunked on. Wait, I was using the Royal We. Come on. I don't think anybody. Well, there's a bunch of these. I'd have to go through this for a while. Actually, really, there's far more results here than anybody expected. I think for what this is. Oh, there it is. I don't know if that's the original one, but CT6061. It's got an Intel i750 on it. We got some supposedly proprietary, but probably not actually ASICs. Oh, there's that Philips chip again. So I'll bet this is the same deal. Oh, and this one ingests audio. Okay. That's cool. Anyway, so this is interesting. A frame grabber that will let it capture sequential frames using the VidCap utility at 15 FPS. It's a weird way of describing it. And then also in the box are VFW drivers. It will capture video at 15 FPS. Okay, so they all do pretty much the same thing. And then there's a $1,000 IEV International ProMotion Multimedia Engine claiming a frame rate over 20 FPSs and screen resolutions up to 1024 by 768. I'm sorry, they're not talking about capture size. Apparently, there was software at this time that would run in Windows but would not enlarge beyond like 640 by 480. I don't really get. That's kind of wild. Okay, anyway. And then at the high end of the spectrum is Intel's $1,295 RT Video Developers Kit, which used Indio, a hardware coprocessor, and they were getting 30 FPS 320 by 240. So that's dope. And they claimed, with no hardware assistance, a playback rate of 24 FPS on a 46. So that's cool. All right. That was pretty neat.
And just to throw this out here, because
Mhm.
I wanted to do something while you were working on that.
Mhm.
That Intel setup, that was what, $1,290?
1295. Yeah.
That is $2,392 today.
What was that number? 2300.
$2,392.
So about $2,400. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Now, okay, this gets interesting. This is fascinating, this section here, in a way that would not necessarily be obvious if you don't have the context. So, what this is talking about is, okay, here, let's just go for it. A whole generation of now comfortable computer users is about to revisit computer paranoia. The catalyst is groupware. Groupware forces you to give up a chunk of your autonomous personal work style for the good of the group. Part of the challenge is to figure out what groupware means to your organization. For now, groupware is one of those I know it when I see it terms, like pornography or multimedia. Oh, that's funny. I was not ready for that. Okay, I'm sorry. So in the mid-90s, in the early to mid-90s, this word multimedia was being bandied about, just thrown all over the place. What did it mean?
Internet of Things.
All sorta. It meant all sorts of things. So, videos. The presence of video made something multimedia. The presence of, images, sound. It literally meant anything but text. Yeah, basically anything but text that was not, just a GUI form. But groupware. What's groupware? Outlook. If you use Exchange at work, Outlook is groupware, and it's a fascinating category of software. I am very intrigued by it because most people do not realize all the stuff that it can do. Outlook is, Exchange, I should say, but Outlook is sort of coupled to it, so whatever. The Outlook Exchange complex is a unbelievably powerful piece of software that has just an unspeakable depth to it. You can do incredible things in Outlook that most people don't know about. For instance, I think that most office workers probably do not realize that it is possible to send a poll to your entire office through Outlook. You can send them an email that's like, "Hey, what do you want to do for the party we're having? You want to go to a pizza place? You want to go to a bar?" And you can send them a poll, and then they can just select the answer they want from a list of possible options, and then you can look at the statistics in your Outlook. And that's always been there. It's been there for decades, and most people just have no idea.
Yeah, there are people at my job who don't even know how reply all works.
That's most people.
It's a very basic, it's very I think because of how I think the thing with groupware as a concept is that if you're trying to apply a software solution to everybody at your organization, it is going to be used by people whose main job, like I use Outlook or Exchange or whatever, and I mean I program, so I have at least some familiarity with the underlying process of how to use a computer. But I work with people who do not use computers for their job. They use email to correspond with colleagues, but that's not what they do. So that's not surprising to me that people are missing out on these features and stuff. That said, I had no idea you could do that. So
I was just typing a message to a friend so they can remind me of the name of something.
Okay.
So yeah. So yes, there was sorry. Okay. There was Lotus Notes, which was sort of an early thing. And then, we have Exchange, and there was lots of stuff in between. All sorts of attempts were made to break into this market. It was a massive market. or was perceived as one. Businesses wanted to make this happen because the advantages of it seem incredible. Things like, yes, for instance, shared calendars are amazing. The ability to look at someone's meeting schedule without having to bother them is very, very cool. Give me a sec. Okay. Okay.
For what it's worth, I don't really have a whole lot to add to this because this is kind of like,
That's fair.
I don't know. It's so. This is almost similar to what I know. It's a goofy name that nobody uses anymore. Like nobody. If you said, "Hey, would you check out that new groupware release that Microsoft had?" They'd be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" But it also feels kind of familiar. Whereas, like looking at the video capture stuff is like, "Whoa, this is a different era entirely."
So this, for instance, this is a
Thank you, Paul.
this is basically oh, thank you so much, Paul. That's rad.
It is rad. But anyway, go ahead.
This is Outlook for like an early 80s VMS system. VMS being, oh boy, VMS being like a Unix. I'm gonna mess this up, but like a Unix competitor sort of thing.
Okay.
So you would basically, everyone in your organization, yeah, there we go. Copyright 1980. So yeah, this ran on a VAX, which was a mini computer. And I am not the person necessarily to add, this is not yet in my forte, but anyway, yeah, so this ran on this sort of situation. Probably not this one. I don't know for sure. But anyway, big boys. That this thing ran on, and then everybody in the office had like a terminal emulator, or just a plain terminal, and then like a serial cable going back to the thing. And so you'd get in here, and you'd have your account, and you've got, yeah, there we go, Word and document processing, electronic messaging. It's got like a email bulletin board sort of system, time management. You know, this is Outlook, but it's text mode, and it's from 43 years ago.
Okay, so just to make sure I'm clarifying and understanding for what I think is the understanding of groupware here. This is all of the actual meat of this is being run in a central location, and you are interacting with it through a terminal that everybody else also has their own terminal for, but all of the actual computational work is being held in a central server, correct?
Not necessarily. Like, well, so for instance, if the whole idea with the groupware thing is like the calendars, okay, are all stored centrally so that you don't have to email your calendar to someone else. Somebody goes home for the weekend, their computer's off, their calendar is stored centrally on the groupware server. But you can still have like a normal client server application relationship.
But it's still so what I'm getting at here is I am trying to think of what I think the first groupware application was in a traditional sense as we would understand it today. And what I think it is, and this is weird esoteric knowledge that you probably have, but I remember reading about this, is when the Apollo program was underway for NASA to get on the moon for the first time, the way that they did multiple users needing to use the same program at the same time was they had a massive computer set up in the basement with a bunch of monitors down below that had projected all of the different programs they're running, so orbital trajectory and
oh my god, you're right, that was like early groupware.
But wait,
go ahead, explain.
It gets better though.
Go ahead.
So because there was no such thing as like, oh, let's call up the GUI for this application that's already being run in this very computationally intense environment, because their terminals were terrible. They couldn't do anything on it. It was essentially, just an outlet to type things that would get transmitted to the machines downstairs. So what they did was they trained literal video cameras on each of the monitors running in the basement with each individual program, and every single mission controller would have a set of button toggles to switch between the individual cameras so they could monitor what was going on, see like, okay, this orbital trajectory is giving me weird information, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in this code or whatever. You could type into your terminal and go transmit it down to the basement, and it would take your input, but you're viewing a screen that everybody else is seeing at the same time. So that to me is like, you're describing this whole groupware concept, and that to me is like the idea of the initial idea for it,
So
which is
I would say I don't think it quite equates. That is it's an interesting take on it because they were sort of they were sharing information centrally that way, but I think it's a little more general than that. Groupware is more about an office. Groupware is specifically about it's about email, it's about calendars.
But
This is an IBM product from '85. Again, look at what we have: calendars, mail, sending notes, directories and distribution lists. So we're talking more about email specifically.
But yes, but what I'm saying is, if you try to take the earliest concept possible of it, if you look at 1968, I don't think there was anything. There was no centralized calendar application for stuff like that because nobody was doing it. I don't think, unless I'm wrong. I could be wrong, because
I'm actually not sure offhand. I'm not, and yeah. I'm not that good with this era either. I start mostly in the 80s.
This is just me stabbing in the dark because I finally had a cool story that would relate, and I was like, "Hell, I'm gonna tell it because it's fun."
It's a cool story anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, just to get through this, because we gotta go in a couple minutes here.
Yeah, I apologize.
No, it's all good. It's not your fault. Anyway, so yeah, even earlier groupware, it was around, but most people were not bound to systems like this. This was like big corporations, and not using PCs. Very important. Very often not using PCs, right? This was your computer, was a terminal into this mini computer. So anyway. To get back to, let's just run through this. So at the time, Lotus Notes, WordPerfect Office. What? Can that be right? 3 of the, well, oh, this is what they're saying. Okay, adding to the confusion, operating systems will begin to claim traditional groupware application functionality. I'm not sure exactly what that means. So they seem to call out 2 different things. So Lotus Notes, WordPerfect Office. I've never heard of WordPerfect Office. Did they make a complete groupware system? That's new to me. But then, and Microsoft Windows for Workgroups. But that was a distinct operating system. That was a distinct Windows edition. So that's weird that they would put that in this, here, just weird that they would put that in this list. I wonder if this person, oops, numlock was off. Just check real quick. Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on. I'm not sure if I know exactly what they mean by that or if that was a mistake. Okay. Okay, and so, so Windows for Workgroup shipped a network, calendar, and email client. I do remember that now. I had forgotten that. Very good point. Anyway, so then... So Lotus Notes, scheduled for a major release, version 3.0 in early 1993. The price of a Notes solution has dropped from astronomical to just plain expensive. Increasingly positioned by Lotus as an environment, which is valid. You can live like entirely inside of a groupware system, especially the older ones. Actually, the newer ones are not as good at it. Notes Mail won't even work with Lotus's own CC Mail without a special gateway. Oh, that hurts. Oh, the notes to CC Mail translation gateway is down. Can somebody go over and kick it? It's a very depressing. Happy New Year, Macbeth 18. Very depressing concept. WordPerfect Office got an early reputation for being the economy-minded workgroup solution, but version 4 ups the ante. It's got email, calendaring, scheduling. It's got the cross-platform. It's got DOS, Windows, and Mac. Ooh, I would like to find this software now and do a video where I set up a groupware network between DOS, Windows, and Mac, all running on like a whole nightmare of coax to ThinNet to AppleTalk adapters. That would be fun.
That would be.
Whoa!
I'll pass on being there for that one. I'll watch the video after though. I want no part of that though. Thank you.
Hey Scott, thanks for joining. We're actually gonna be wrapping up in just a couple minutes here.
I do want to say one thing actually before we finish this. My favorite part is, can we look at another advertisement?
One more ad, okay?
Yes, I want to see. I want to see another advertisement before we're done because those are fun.
That one's not enough. Okay.
That's not fun. That's just fun.
Yep, and these ones are not really fun because they're just catalogs for a whole distributor. Oh, here's that Vizio thing I wanted to get to real quick. Who made
Oh
it?
yeah, let's do this. Hey, look, it looks the same.
Yeah, it's the same program, right? It's it's completely unchanged. They've
It is
never
literally
changed it.
identical. That's incredible. It is identical to what it is now. All they changed is the top bar. That is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Um, Give me a sec. I need to go to my video topics Kanban board and put something in here for
Are you
cross-platform.
seriously have a Kanban board for
Yeah, I'm
video
using
topics?
Trello. It worked. It was the only thing that worked. I kept trying to write stuff down, and it just didn't work until I started using this thing, and it worked. So I don't like
Kanban is
Kanban. I hate Kanban, but this worked. I don't know
yeah, that
why.
you should really let me know before you say that word on stream because that was a deeply traumatic experience.
Well, look.
Oh God, I just have never had a good experience with it, but it's probably just because of
Fair.
like um I tend to end up using it in circumstances where people are like, this is a hot phrase, let's use it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
We'll
like
set up a Kanban board for this, and it's like that's
yeah,
not. It doesn't model our workflow correctly.
no.
Anyway, so yeah, a $299.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy it's the same.
Yeah, this is dope. A $299 Microsoft Windows-based graphics product from Shapeware Corp. So there's that, but then below this, actually, this is good. 18 months ago, Microsoft revolutionized Windows programming with Visual Basic for Windows version 1.0. I didn't actually realize that it was that recent, but I guess it was. Visual Basic was pretty dope. It really took off. That one got popular.
I can't knock it because I like C#.
I love C#, and C# is basically the evolution of Visual Basic.
Basically, yeah. It's a C# is so good. That was what I started my career in, and what I honestly like.
Hey, you know what? There's an entire article about the video for Windows situation. Damn, there's a lot going on there. Yay, faxing! I love faxing. Y'all don't know this, but I'm gonna be doing a whole. Good night, Ben. Happy New Year. I'm gonna be doing a whole bunch of videos about faxing. I'm sorry, but you won't regret it. It's pretty cool. Faxing is not as awful as it seems. There was so much interaction between the PC and fax technology, and it ties into my other great love, which is modems. I've got so many modems that I have such sites to show you. You don't even know. I've got so many modems, and I'm going to be doing videos about them because there were all sorts of features in modems that almost nobody of my generation, let alone newer ones, have any idea existed. But a lot of people at the time didn't know they existed, and I really want to talk about it because PC faxing was super cool. So
Just to in case anybody hasn't seen it, I believe one of your recent videos you hooked up two modems talking to each other so you could play Doom over them.
Yes.
With no internet in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
That was pretty cool.
I thought it was pretty dope. I'm glad you did too.
It was really cool. I loved it, and it was. I think that kind of video. If you watch that and you're like, "This is cool," then you will probably want to see the future videos.
I think so.
This is the only thing I've learned from my podcast. You have to just endlessly pump the other things that you've done, so that people who miss them can go see them.
Well, see, hey, can I ask a real quick question? Everybody watching, anybody here? Did you come to this live stream new from like the front page of YouTube, or were you already a subscriber? Is there anybody here who was not a subscriber before they clicked on this live stream? I'm really curious how this works. YouTube will give you analytics, but it'll take me about 48 hours.
I'm not sure about subscribers or not, but I know Sable is a friend of mine.
Oh, nice.
Who came from Twitter. So I think a few people came from there. Because I posted about it, obviously, because I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be doing a bunch of talking tonight, and I made myself look nice for it. So why not?"
Okay, cool. NJ Road fan, glad to hear. I wasn't sure if YouTube put live streams on the front page. Wow, a speedrun Focus Pocus. I've seen the same speedrun, I'm sure of it.
There are actually, as there are actually people commenting. I just went to my Twitter because I haven't looked at it since I said I was lunching. But there's actually a couple people who was like, "Wait a second, that's Gravis's YouTube channel. I never knew." Which I believe you mentioned earlier in this very stream.
Yes, it always comes up. I have such a hard time.
Yeah, that is kind of
getting
funny,
people
honestly, to realize. Anyway, John C. Dvorak really likes Delrina's fact software, so I think that's a really good fact to just round out the night with.
It? Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, there it is. If you're looking for fact software, get anything with Delrina's name on it.
John C. Dvorak is a syndicated columnist. I'm going to start saying things like, Tony really likes Hot Wheels brand toy cars, and her stuff has been on like a bunch of different websites.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's relevant.
It's true.
All right, everybody. Sorry for the people who just joined, but we got to wrap up. It's been about almost 3 hours. This went so much better than I expected. I'm so grateful to everyone who joined. I'm super grateful to you, Tony. Thank you so much. I could not have done this without you. This is exactly the vibe that I wanted. And this is a great time to do it, and a great bunch of people to do it with. And I was really worried that no one would be into this, but I've not had a moment since I started this stream with less than 100 people watching, which is wild to me. Ridiculous, ratio. So it was just like super successful in my eyes, and everyone seemed to have a good time. And I'm so glad that I could entertain you. And all of your input, I appreciated. Thank you so much, everybody. Please come back next time because without the feedback, I don't know what to do next other than just keep reading the page. But hey, the cool thing about YouTube is that this is saved forever. So if you're into that sort of thing, you can watch the VOD anytime you want. It'll be there. You're welcome, Tom. Glad to hear that.
I really appreciate you letting me join. It was really fun. I enjoyed getting a blast from the past and, throwing in my little bits of knowledge because this isn't my specialty, but I enjoy it. Is it okay if I just mention my site real fast?
Self-promote. Okay. Go.
Okay.
And post it in chat. Post it in chat.
Yeah, I will. Real quick, I'm going to post this here, but if you are a car enthusiast who likes things in a similar vibe to what Gravis does with tech, part of the reason that Gravis and I are I think, get along so well is because Gravis has this whole social cultural view of technology. This is why this got forgotten. This is why this was important at the time, that kind of thing. It's extremely cool. But I try to do the same thing for an automotive perspective. So I write at trustthemachine.com. I posted a link. And if you're interested in cars at all and would like a similar take on it, I've done my best to do that justice, and we'll have more there. We have a podcast and all sorts of stuff. The articles are where I think my best work is. But that's all for me. I really enjoyed being here. It was really fun, and I hope we get to do this again.
We will. Don't believe it. We're going to do exactly this because this was perfect. And anytime that you're up for it and I'm up for it, we're going to do another magazine stream because, hey, everybody, nobody expected this. We made it 40 pages. 40 pages into this magazine.
Whoa! Yes!
There's no way.
We did it!
It does not make sense. From the beginning and from what we were doing yesterday, there's no way this could have been predicted. So I'm going to call this an absolute resounding success. Happy New Year, everybody. I got to wait another 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. That sucks before I can pop bottles because I'm having mimosas at midnight. But let's see 2021 be a better year. I'm glad we could end it on a high note. Have a good night.
See you, everybody.
Good night to you too, Tony.